we are going. Where's the fucking... Why is this giving me trouble?
That knee's starting to hurt.
Google Drive. Click this guy on. Make sure we got the chat up and running. No! And there he is, Mr. Fett himself. Already in the chat.
Damn it. I forgot to turn him off. No! What was the no about? Was that because your sound was still on?
Yes.
Like a wanker?
Yes. Wanker indeed.
It's actually warm in here.
It is. It's crazy.
All that time we spent pissing and moaning about the goddamn cold.
Mm-hmm. And now here it is. It's nice and warm. Almost a little too warm, honestly. Almost. I would still take this over the bitter fucking cold.
Fucking A, right.
So ski. How well can you see the dark saber?
It's gotta be tough. There's probably like a glare.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, this.
Oh, that
should come off. Probably see it better.
I'm looking like I don't see it yet. Oh.
Oh.
Yes, it did. There it goes. Much better. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
All right.
Fondle it.
So I added a couple more little lines after you did your additions to the notes. So I don't know if you have to refresh your thing or not.
The notes are up there, right?
C.
3PO. So I'm going to go ahead and... Why is Robot Chicken The Farce Awakens?
What?
That's a thing? Look.
What?
Right there.
They did a Force Awakens? No.
Let's see if it's legit. When did I graduate from high school? Fuck you, YouTube.
What?
Oh my god. It looks legit.
Get the fuck out.
Listen to me.
Just gonna watch it yourself.
Isn't the speed of light constant? JK483 will do anything. BB-8, listen to me.
Oh my gosh, I'm in the movie! I must be dreaming this whole thing. I do that a lot. Somehow I think recycling old plots is not going to be a problem around here.
You must safeguard the map to Luke Skywalker's location.
Okay, I'm out of here. Oh, cool. Those wipes are so iconic. You are literally the first person I met on this planet. You know, it'd be weird. Like, you know, it'd be so weird if you were like the savior of the universe somehow. That would be great.
All right, we should really.
Yeah. How long is this? 4 minutes? 5 minutes total, I guess. Yeah, I had no fucking clue that there was a Force Awakens Robot Chicken.
I have not seen it, so this was on it. Yeah, randomly popped up. The Farce Awakens. It was at Adult Swim UK. So I will save the recent playlists and also add it to favorites because why not?
Yeah.
And then what about this? Yeah, there's me, my fat ass. Well, I can't get yelled at. Oh my god! can't get yelled at for volume on that one because we were watching. We were utilizing the iPad for its intended purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We need to send you guys a backlight.
Yeah. Oh, oh my god! Could you imagine like a red light back here shining up? That'd be awesome.
Definitely need to do some. Indeed.
Yeah. So
maybe that same. So I got a strip of lights that are like lighting up my shadow box now. I get a battery operated strip of LEDs.
Yeah, that are red.
Red.
Oh my god, that would be the shit. Cool. So anything? Mark, Shotgun Mark in the house.
Jeez, everyone's up.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Anything else before we start? Now we still gotta display this guy somehow.
Oh, don't block the saber.
Yeah, I don't want to block it. It's not gonna work. Fuck it.
That's how we're displaying that.
That's what Dave thinks about this.
You can't even read the title anyway.
That's true. We tried.
Oh God, I snorted. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
What are you?
Is Big Lovin' in the house? Can he see my shirt?
I don't think Big Lovin's in yet.
Tom says we can get LEDs at Walmart.
I don't go to Walmart for fear of killing everybody that I see. So that's why I am a Amazon Prime member.
Yeah, that helps.
That way,
when you don't like people, Amazon is your best friend.
Word. All right. I'm thinking about it. It's probably going off more often right now because of the heat.
Oh, you think that has something to do with it?
Fans generally turn on when they're to cool something.
True, but I mean, I don't remember this happening so often last year.
I don't either. I still think it's dying, but
yeah,
I think it may be dying for doing its intended purpose.
Yeah. All right.
Just saying.
Oh well, we'll tough it through this episode, and then when we're done, I'll shut everything down and unplug it.
We get a standard power strip.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, up to this point, we've never needed a.
It's not real wood. Fuck!
Over here. Never needed real backup battery. So I could just see it though. One day we get like 2 hours into a session. We're fucking rolling. Thunderstorm rolls through.
Yeah, but see, that would cut everything off though. If it's when we were like going and rolling and all of a sudden like part of it's dead and we don't realize it. That's when it'd be a problem.
Well, but that's
if we lose power to everything, then fuck it.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of YouTube too. Because we have that backup copy that I can rip the audio from. Speaking of which. Hello. Almost started without it. That would have been bad.
Without our hollering?
Well, without the fucking audio recording.
You're right. That would have been bad.
All right. Where'd the Google Drive go? Right there. All right. Remember, look here.
Boobs.
We good?
As good as we're going to get.
All right. It's my toast this week.
Sweet hat Vader's wearing. No. Although, you know what? I'll bring something up later about that, actually.
All right, fair enough. So, all right, then if we're good, I'm going to do a time hack. Reactor. It's the Vader thing from Robot Chicken. Well, Lord Vader said that to install the reactor.
Right.
Lord Vader, did you order a reactor?
When they're on hold.
Yeah,
right? When he's on hold with the engineer.
Yeah. Reactor. All right. Anyway, let's just roll.
I think Brady has basketball practice.
Man.
It's all right. Give him something to watch later.
Yeah. All right. 30 seconds of silence. Starting now. To the springtime. Woo. Oh, we were just talking before we started the show about the nice warm weather we've had. You know, anybody who's listened to the show for any period of time listens to us bitch and moan about the winters for like 6 months in a stretch. And finally some warm weather that's actually sticking. And it's been nice.
Sticking, literally. Because today was almost 80.
I know. It's fucking crazy.
It's supposed to be like 60 degrees right now. I mean, legit.
Yeah.
Like this time of year, it should be like 60. Yesterday it was like 70, like almost the mid 70s. And today it was almost hit 80. So it is, while I welcome the warmth, it does come at a cost, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
That's
Well-
okay. I'd still rather have it than being cold because fuck the cold.
Yeah, hopefully we'll, normalize at some point, kind of plateau, and then move on with a normal New Jersey spring.
Probably not. It's going to go like off scale high, and there's going to be snow. It's fucking April. Anything can happen.
Yep. And until then, hello everyone, and welcome back to All Things Star Wars, the greatest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I kill you. I'm reading the chat.
Uh,
I am alive.
Yes.
And-
It's always a good thing.
Yes, being alive beats the alternative.
Yes. And I am drinking the first of the beers that were given to us by the refugees from episode 100.
Episode 100. That seems like so long ago.
It
now.
does seem like a long time ago.
Like legit, like really actually seems like long ago. Like as opposed to like pretending like things are not quite happened. Like yes, like really seems like it's been a long time since we actually been sitting here.
Yeah. No, I agree. And even not talking about episode 100, just the last time since we recorded. We've been on a bit of a break. We were on a break. And it's been
It
nice
wasn't
being
good for
back.
any of us.
Yeah, it's nice being back, but yeah, it may take us a few minutes to get back into the flow. And
I doubt it.
while we're waiting for us to get back into the flow, I'm drinking the Founders Brewing Company's All Day IPA. It's a little on the weak side. I'm used to my IPAs being closer to like 7-8%. This thing's a 4.
Well, let's see.
So-
It's associated with Michigan, so that's probably what makes it weak.
Oh, by the way, for
It's
the
only a
refugee-
4.7 for an IPA. That is pretty weak.
Yeah. So to the refugees, this Ugly Dog Michigan cherry whiskey. I want some more of this. So put some in a package and send it our way. Because I was thinking about it a couple days ago. I'm like, ooh, that was good. I want some more of that.
You barely had any either for episode.
I had one
100.
glass. Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
single glass while the rest of y'all were getting shit faced.
While
So-
the rest, well, honestly, while me and Don
Yeah,
we're
you and
we're
Don
drinking
both-
all of it, and by we I mean Don drinking damn near all of it.
Yeah,
You know it.
yeah. And honestly,
Oh, and Big Lovin' was
yeah,
busy emptying this guy out.
yeah, he killed that case of Coronas. Fucking 3.5 hour runtime on episode 100. As I was editing the show last week and getting ready to push it out, I'm like, okay, so we went for a total of 4 hours with the YouTube and everything else, but a good hour and a half of that had to have been just like filler that we're gonna cut out and whatnot. Nah, 3.5 fucking hours runtime.
Yeah,
on
that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'm pretty sure that's our longest running episode to date. It's
it
got
may
to
very well be.
Yeah.
It's got it. Yeah, you're right. It's got to be. I don't
So-
because we've never taped for 4 hours.
Yeah, not for a single episode, no. So
True.
yeah, so we're still kind of recovering from the episode.
So yeah, a 4-hour long episode fueled by whiskey, Coronas,
Yeah,
and
pizza.
and Star Wars
Yeah,
and toys.
yeah,
Oh,
and
the toys.
yeah, it's we've been kind of taking a bit of a break, sort of kind of recovering from the episode 100 hangover. It's been nice, but we have been indulging in some Star Wars stuff, fondling the All Things Star Wars dark saber that was bequeathed to us by the refugees. So thanks again, gentlemen.
So there was a part in what we're going to talk about today in the book where it talks about how somebody was surprised about how lightweight it was.
Yeah.
The lightsaber was.
Yeah,
Remember that
yeah.
part coming across it? Did it make you? Had you already read that part before we had gotten this?
No, I think I read it after, but I didn't.
You didn't make the
honestly. I
association?
didn't make the correlation. Yeah.
Lame.
So.
That should go like this.
Oh, speaking of things that we've been reading lately, what are we talking about this week? We kind of glossed right over that.
We're closing out the Bane. Look here. We're closing out the Bane trilogy, folks. We're closing it out.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm so glad we did because I legit hadn't read 3Ds in a while,
Yeah.
like to completion, as
Mm.
it were. And
Oh.
I put this down in 3 days.
So you reread the whole book, huh?
In 3 days.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's one of those things where if I'm like in the mood to read, then I can do like every spare moment. Like so a lot of it was at lunchtime, leaving work at lunch, driving to the end of the runway and just sitting there for my hour on lunch and just eating and reading.
Nice.
And I put away like, I don't know, a lot of it in that span of time. So it's good. I actually feel like fresh with the material. I'm not like way lagged behind. It's like, oh yeah, because I read that fucking 3 years ago. No, I just finished it. So hopefully I won't.
Awesome. So
hopefully I won't seem like that I read it 3 years ago.
So yeah, like I said, we've been kind of on a 2-week break. It's been transparent to anybody listening to the audio. Those who follow us on YouTube know we haven't recorded in 2 weeks. It was nice to kind of get that time off to kind of catch up because I worked this last weekend. So I had, a lot of bullshit I had to get caught up on and whatnot. So it was a nice rest, but we're back. And even though, as we'll get into it later, I'm going on vacation soon, we should have that covered as far as releasing content for you guys. But we'll get into it.
Will we?
Yes.
What are you pattern delaying for? Just go.
Well, one of the things that's going to generate a lot of content for us is motherfucking Celebration this weekend.
It's a celebration.
Yes. Bitches, come here. It's a celebration, bitches.
Wish I had 2 more thumbs.
Show Charlie Murphy your titties. So, yes.
We do have to give like, never mind. A Chappelle dominated episode.
Oh, I know. Like we quote it so much, but yeah, Celebration starts in 4 days. Today's Monday, right? Yeah. So 4 days Celebration starts, and we're getting the motherfucking title to episode 9 in addition to the first motherfucking trailer.
Now, do we know this for sure? Like, is this faux show? We're getting a title and a trailer.
I guess technically it has not been released on StarWars.com that we are, but come on. The episode 9 panel is Friday.
Right.
There's no fucking way they don't give us this at this point.
You don't think so?
They have to.
It seems like it's a 50-50 shot. I legitimately
I would double the amount of money on that fucking mixer right now.
I'm not going to bet against it because I want to see it happen. However, I want to put it past these motherfuckers. What happened? Well, it just lost my YouTube feed. Something went wrong.
Mine's still going.
And I'm back.
Squirrel. So
celebration.
So no, there's no fucking way they don't give us this stuff this week. It's not fucking possible. There's no way you can convince me otherwise.
It's totally possible.
We are getting the episode 9 trailer on Friday. I guarantee it. So
this Friday, April
12th,
yes, is, I thought Solsky thought Disney announced it, so this may be a moot point.
Okay.
So somebody fucking find out for sure.
Yeah.
I want to be able to. I want to hang my hopes and dreams on this. I honestly want to.
Oh, they're already there.
But in the meantime, I'm not fucking. No, I'll believe when I see it. I'll totally believe when I see it.
It's a 2-year event.
No shit. But these cocksuckers have left us swinging in the fucking wind now. So you could have all the fucking Avengers fucking. Oh, I saw a great meme today.
Yeah.
It was. I think it was on the Force. It's one of the Star Wars fan pages I'm sure we both follow. And it basically had like, all right, the acting coach says, okay, everyone make the searching for fart emotion, and they're all, because on the poster they're all kind of looking up like this.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite one is, I posted this in our private Facebook group, by the way, was the one where it's like all of their heads are turned to one side and it's like a chick's ass, like they're staring at a chick's ass in like tight pants, and then it shows her turning around, and then they flip the poster and they're all looking the other way.
When did you post that?
Oh god, that was like a week and a half ago.
Like a week ago.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, Celebration this weekend. Let's just assume, I think it's safe to assume that we're going to get all this. I guarantee you now, there is going to be a reaction video on our YouTube channel to the trailer, be it just myself or me and Dave, depending on whether or not he can fucking break away from his busy ass schedule. It will happen. You will get at least one of our honest initial reaction to the first trailer for episode 9, Balance of the Force. So
so you're calling it? It's Balance of the Force?
50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I thought I had a good one. I thought it was what I say? Oh no, what the hell did I say in Brady Lovin's throwdown for the titles? Fuck. It was good.
I don't know.
That's the shame of it is it's
I
the
know.
fan that's going to
Jesus
make the
Christ,
truncated
man.
so it's not go away.
Hopefully they can't hear that fan. That's becoming a real distraction to this whole fucking process.
It's fucking great. I love it.
So
I don't have to make the distraction.
So
there's an inanimate object doing it for me.
So honestly, there is allegedly a lot of shit that's going to get announced, previewed, whatnot at Celebration. So our next 2 episodes after this one may have to do with Celebration. So get ready. Episodes 102 and 103 may both be Celebration related.
It's a celebration.
Pictures. So that's really the only Star Wars news that's going on out there. It's more rumor and innuendo outside of that, which obviously we're going to get like the fucking all the Star Wars news dumped on us this weekend. But in the meantime, we don't have any other news to speak of.
I fucking hope so. I hope we get so much goddamn content dumped on us that we smell like shit for a fucking week. However, I don't trust them. I don't trust them anymore. They have lost my trust.
All right. Well, hopefully they gain it back this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Are we ready to break into our week then, or are you still looking for that meme?
I'm still looking for that meme, and I'm distracted. Yeah. So fuck it.
All right. Give up. Are you ready to go into our week?
Yes, I said yes.
Okay.
What? A 4.7 IPA is fucking already making you repeat yourself?
It is not. So I always repeat myself anyway on the show. You should know this.
Well, We've only been doing this for
101 episodes. So big thing first is I'm in full vacation mode. We're going on our California vacation soon. Fucking Disneyland. Did you know that there are like 2 Star Wars related attractions at Disneyland that are not part of Galaxy's Edge that have opened since the last time I've been there? There's like
only based on the notes that I read this afternoon.
Right. Yeah. So there's some fucking 3D movie out there, and then some other kind of walk through like the Jedi archives or some shit. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, and they're both in Tomorrowland. So I'm like, I didn't know this existed. So I'll definitely.
So are you doing Disney like the whole time?
No. I'm seeing my family for.
No. Like, so you're just going to Disney? Like, you're not going to Universal at all?
Were you told to say this?
No, I'm genuinely asking you.
We are not going to Universal.
Why not?
Time and money.
Fair enough. Can you get in there for free though? For military?
For free?
Or really cheap?
Like $100 a person.
I thought we talked about this already because I told you like at MWR we got like a year pass for basically what was the same cost as like one day at the park.
But it's I don't know. All I know is that your wife and daughter have been talking to my wife.
My daughter?
Oh yeah. And they've
about what, Universal?
Yeah, and about that fucking Harry Potter shit.
I'm not a Harry Potter fan.
Neither am
I could care less about
which is why I'm not bending over backwards to go to fucking Universal Studios, honestly. But
wait, is your wife a Harry Potter fan?
She is. And
what about the boys?
I think they kind of like it, but they're not like super fans, not like her. Like she's talking about like buying a fucking robe and a fucking wand and wearing them into the park. And I'm like, I don't know you. Stay away from me.
So if this were me, if this were Dave on the other side of this chair, right? Like, hey, we're going out there for vacation, right? And we had a choice between like, oh, all right, we're going here. And we could totally make this work, but I'm not going to just because I don't like the thing that you like. Guess what we would be doing? We'd be doing that thing. I'm just saying that's what my wife would be doing to me. So I
haven't 100% ruled it out, but at this point, it's like
in all seriousness, just fucking go. Isn't this like the last year of the Simpsons Ride? Like, aren't they tearing the Simpsons Ride down after this year? I thought they were making a whole bunch of wholesale changes in in California.
believe
at the
it.
park.
And honestly, I've never ridden the Simpsons ride. I always rode it when it was Back to the Future. So I haven't been since they changed it to the Simpsons like a decade and a half ago.
Yeah, the Simpsons. Well, when we did it, fuck, it was however long ago it was now.
Yeah.
I think Jeff wasn't even graduated high school yet, but yeah, I mean, Simpsons Ride was fun. I mean, you guys have been out there more than I have, but
Yeah,
I just know that
I grew up out there.
They
so...
were building the Harry Potter thing. Like the skeleton of it was up.
Yeah,
when we were out there.
No, the whole thing's up. But I'm trying to tell Kristen, like, I heard the one in Florida is bigger. Like, there's bigger, more stuff to do. So let's just fucking go to Florida one winter.
Well, I mean, we should all be going to Florida anyway, because there's going to be like an entire like Star Wars hotel to be staying at and everything else. However, I'm just saying. All
right. Well, duly noted.
If you're going to be out there, and if we were my wife, I'd be getting my dick kicked in. But that's, you know, we all know who wears the pants in my house. And rightly so.
All right. Fair enough.
Here.
So, I acquired the Republic.
My YouTube dropped out again. What the
fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, I acquired the Republic Commando novels. Why
do you say acquired? Like, why is that in quotes?
They are in my possession. I am now able to read them on my iPad.
You're implying like some nefarious thing, like
I would
like
never...
you beat up some child for them, or I mean,
I would do that.
Fair enough.
But
I mean,
needless to say,
isn't there one of them is right there?
Yes, but that's not the first one.
Or well, how many books are there?
There's like 5 of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn it.
So anyway,
sometimes there's not just nothing beats the having the paper, the moldy smell in your hands.
Oh yeah. So before the next Thrawn book comes out, Thrawn Treason,
it does smell too.
I want to read the first Republic Commando book, not just because, you know, Bronco Fett says we should, but because I hear that they are really good books. And again, these are Legends books that could still fit into the current canon without fucking anything up. So that's one of the reasons why I want to read these. That's one of the reasons why I push for Bane too, because Bane doesn't fuck up any of the current canon.
Well, and it's fucking kick ass.
Well, that too, but we'll get into that when we get into the third book. I restarted Knights of the Old Republic again, so I kind of spent a lot of time in here just to kind of get away. Sorry. Just to get some quiet time for Jason, because I need that sometimes. So I was coming in here to the studio. I got my Xbox in here. I'm like, nah, fuck it. Let's try to play Knights of the Old Republic again. So for like the 15th fucking time, I've started over Knights of the Old Republic from the beginning on the Xbox One.
Oh, man.
But they did a really good job of like upscaling the textures and the graphics in the Xbox One port. Because if you like fire up an original Xbox, which is what it came out on,
right,
fucking back in 2003 or whenever, it looks like shit. So the Xbox One like puts it in high resolution, you know, pumps up those.
How would it have done that? I mean, it should still like. Was it ported into Xbox from a PC game?
It could have been.
So that might be why they had a high-res version of it.
Yeah, it might have been. But either way, it's. I mean, it still obviously doesn't compare to modern day graphics, but it looks a lot better. It's a lot more playable. So I've been going through that, and it's fun. It's a good game. I just actually need to one day spend the time to fucking get through it, which that's always the question, right? Having enough time.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll have enough time. So the only other note I put in here is I am the commander in my squadron for this week. Both of the full-time officers that we have in my squadron are both gone. They're TDY all week. So being the senior enlisted person in the squadron, I'm fucking in charge, and it feels good.
So why weren't you like home at noon?
Because I'm a responsible leader. I lead by example.
Yeah, so you early release everybody, you look like a hero, then you fucking stroll out of there an hour later.
Well, I'm working on that for Thursday. I don't want to like get right out the gate fucking slacking and, you know, doing early releases and whatnot. We had business to take care of today. Lots of Empire stuff going on.
I'm sure there is.
So yeah, that's the only other thing going on with me.
Seriously. Hey, people out there, look. Is it just me? Is it just my YouTube just keeps dropping out? Like, is that?
I'm fine. Yeah.
Yours hasn't dropped out. I keep getting a little fucking bad robot screen.
Really?
What the fuck, over?
Yeah, I don't know.
A touch exhausting. Republic Commando books are good. A touch exhausting though. Shotgun Mike. Mark says. Sorry, Mark.
Exhausting. I've never heard a book described as exhausting before. That's
You've pretty much described books or reading in general as exhausting when you say when you're trying to read Bane and it puts you to sleep.
Well, every book puts me to sleep, but I thought he meant like it like physically exhausts you to.
I don't know. Mine dropped out earlier. Maybe it's YouTube having an issue. Yeah, but it's out again.
Or it's
what the fuck, man?
Your fucking phone. All right, so we are.
All right, Jason. This is an iPad, not a phone.
Oh,
maybe it's your internet that I'm connected to.
Could be. Could very well be. We've got like a million fucking sidebar. I could only imagine how many wireless devices are connected to my fucking Wi-Fi router
at any given time.
At any given time, it's probably at least in the 20s, like lowballing in the fucking 20s. Between
this is with or without you being home.
Yeah, between all of our cell phones, all of our iPads,
right?
All of the like the Nintendo DSs. Like we've got at least 4 of them in the house. All of my fucking Kindles, they're all wireless.
Right.
We've got at least 3 of these floating around the fucking house. We've got Kristen's Mac. We've got this Mac. We've got now yours. We've got the fucking all the video game consoles. My PS4, my Xbox.
No, I forgot that this was running on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Actually, no, this one actually does.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah,
it's got an Ethernet, but it's the same fucking internet.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same. You're having the same draw.
Yeah, the fucking Apple TV, the fucking Alexas, the like 3 Alexas that we have in the fucking house. It's a lot.
Is it ironic that they call them Alexas, even though Alexa's the name, not the actual device?
Oh, it's like the dot.
They're echoes. Yeah, they're echoes.
Yeah,
I find it amusing.
But yeah, we have got so many fucking devices connected to our internal network.
No, I believe it.
Insane.
Yeah, I've actually looked at mine at one point because there's like I've legitimately thought about putting like a 25 port switch like into the house just to try and like more evenly divide up some of it.
Yeah.
And it's it probably would totally be worth it, but it'd be exhausting, much like the Republic Commando books.
Yeah. So before we move on to your week, I just cracked a dirty blonde wheat ale brewed with orange peel and coriander. What the fuck is coriander?
I think it has what's that? What show is that kid Corey on?
I don't know. This is the Atwater Brewery in Detroit.
Oh, that sounds
Detroit beer.
Detroit.
That sounds good. I'll have that.
Fresh Detroit water beer. It's a 4.5.
It's not bad.
It looks like one of those like super racist like lawn jockeys like holding up a beer.
Yeah.
And for the thing. I can't read it. Sorry. Maybe that's why I'm all fucked up. Maybe it's my eyesight.
Your prescription?
Maybe
new glasses.
I might need new glasses.
Interesting.
Anyway, what? Who? Hi.
So
and we're going and we're back.
What about you? What about your week?
I haven't done shit. Honestly, the break, air quote, for me just seemed to like fly by. I can't really tell you what the hell happened in the last couple weeks, to be honest. Like what I can tell you is I'm super behind in homework.
Oh boy.
That I am like medically not the best in the world. So like yesterday, because it was so nice out, I just was like, fuck it. I got to spend all day outside. So I started tearing apart my shed to try and get some shit to the curb and do stuff like that. It's like a once a year thing.
Yeah.
I've got to clean out the shed.
Oh yeah. We do that with our garage once a year.
Yeah, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this shit gets out there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, some of it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So much just garbage. Like, I put so much shit on the curb today. But yeah, like medically, I've been just an absolute shit show. So God only knows what's gonna fucking be. What's up next week on
Diagnosing Dave?
Yeah, exactly. Diagnosing Dave. It'd be a great webinar.
Yeah. We may have to make that a segment on the show.
That'd be really funny.
This is the Diagnosing Dave.
We could give everybody in the chat like a list of things, and then they can try and figure out what the hell it is. And
my money's on Isaac.
Yeah, well, I don't know why, but okay. And then they'll probably be doing as good, if not better, than the doctors that I'm actually seeing.
Yeah.
But I did in this space of time. I've read through Bane.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of it. Like honestly, it's been such a blur of time gone by since we were in the studio last.
Damn.
And you know what's funny is I've been like I was pining the whole time for like the episode, like gearing up for the episode 100 release that happened. And it's like, okay, I wanted to get some stuff on the Instagram, like to the story.
Sure, yeah.
Sidebar, kind of relevant sidebar. It would seem that on Instagram that our story gets viewed more than people like our posts, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because I don't know if because you actually have to hit basically our icon to see our story.
Yes.
So when we post something, somebody's they're hitting more often than not, they're hitting our actual icon to see this Instagram story,
right,
than they are actually reading the post that it's coming from.
And I get that, because if you look at like Facebook is going more towards like stories.
Yeah, well, they're chasing Snapchat.
Right. And Snapchat's the same way. So it's like, I don't know if it's just this generation or what. Like they're more inclined to hit your story, watch your fucking 5-second clip, and move on.
And so what I should have done when I made the story for the episode 100, I was trying to grab stuff to be part of the Kevin Smith tour, like culminating with the skee ball. See if people had picked up on it. But then after I posted, I'm like, shit, I don't know if I got all the pictures I wanted to in there because it started with Gino's and anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, we hadn't had a chance to talk about it. And I was like, man, so many people have looked at this story, and so many more people have looked at the story than have actually like looked at the post. It just seemed strange.
That is weird.
But that's what we got to keep on top of. We got to keep on top of our Instagram game.
Yes, I'm trying. Posting stuff here and there. So
it's a we thing. It's not just a you thing. It's definitely a we thing. Dave has potato Tourette's. What does that entail?
I don't know. You'll have to be more specific.
I like that. I like the thought of that.
Yeah.
I have my own flavor of Tourette's. Diagnosis, probably. That's probably what it was. Look here. You know what'd be funny?
What?
We should get like they have those like they're like fake boobs. Yeah. Hey, we're the $10,000 pyramid.
I just see you go like this,
yes.
And like clearly he's talking about boobs.
No, they have them that like they move, like they're motorized and they move around like this. Like we should put that there, and that will keep us looking.
Motorized?
Seriously, it's a thing. Yes, it's a thing. At our the lodge's Christmas party, like 2 years in a row, like motorized boobs. There were multiple motorized boobs this past year. So if you have to, apparently, I haven't yet to make one of these parties because I'm sick or something else is going on.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's been a good time every year.
Nice.
And if it includes motorized boobs, then how could it be a bad time? Right?
Exactly. So
anyway,
awesome. So are you done with your week?
I didn't even know I had a week, so yes.
All right. So I guess we'll just hop right into our main topic then, eh? Hey. So Darth Bane, Dynasty of Evil. So this is the final book in the Darth Bane Trilogy that we've covered for the other two. If you're new to the show, go back and look at our previous episodes. I couldn't tell you what episode number they were.
I can't either.
If I really wanted to prep, then I would have done that, but fuck it. Doing it live. So,
as per usual,
to recap, the first Darth Bane book came out in September of 2006. That was Path of Destruction. In December 2007, so a little over a year later, came out Rule of Two. It took 2 more years for Dynasty of Evil to come out after Rule of Two. So, I didn't read these when they first came out. I just finished Dynasty of Evil a week and a half ago for the first time. So, this was all brand new to me. Obviously, you'd read them before back in the day. So, written by Drew Karpyshyn, phenomenal writer. This guy is so good. Like, I've mentioned it in the first 2 Bane books. And again, in this one, there were points where he kind of had me on the edge of my seat. Like, he really knew how to interweave multiple stories and how to kind of keep you invested in these characters and invested in what they're doing. Kind of like how I'm invested in what the fuck Dave is doing right now.
My seat's all fucked up. So something's wrong. Doing this all this is off camera.
What the fuck? I should. Oh my god,
Seriously.
you're missing out. Even the YouTube audience is missing out
Damn
on
it.
what the fuck is going on with Dave.
I don't know what the hell's happening.
Are you okay?
No, God, no.
But
Anyway,
yeah, Drew Karpyshyn, phenomenal.
Yes, very good.
phenomenal writer. Like,
what else has he written?
so he has written 2 other Star Wars books. He has written a book based on the Old Republic, and he has written the Revan book. So
Revan. I have not read that.
neither have I. So I really want to read his other 2 books.
Put that on the list.
Yes. Here, let me just write this down.
See, it serves you right for getting ready to fake writing it down.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right.
Waste
So
more ink and
it's lead.
pencil lead,
So-
otherwise known as graphite. How did that fucking become a thing?
What?
Like, at what point were people actually writing with fucking lead?
Oh, like real lead?
Like real lead.
It had to have happened at some point, right?
Did it?
I mean, they always refer to it as a lead pencil, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, could that be why? I mean, could that be why, like, generationally, like, some generations are better than others?
Yeah.
Like, maybe because their fucking parents were writing with actual pencil, like, with actual lead.
Well, with lead paint in their house.
Yeah, but they didn't have fucking, like, you go back so far, like, those tiny schoolhouses had fucking slate boards and chalk for each kid. They didn't have fucking, like, take-home shit. Like, the only people using pencils were carpenters.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
This was long before my time.
This is going to be the podcast where Dave fucking sees all the squirrels.
Yeah. So to kind of set the stage,
I need to know that right now.
To set the stage for anybody who needs a recap, Darth Bane fucking wipes out the entire Sith. This is 1,000 years before, the rise of Palpatine and everything else. Bane wipes out the fucking Sith, wipes out a good portion of Jedi along the way, and he institutes the rule of 2, where it's one master who has all of the power and the knowledge, one apprentice to crave it, and eventually the apprentice becomes more powerful than the master, kills the master, and then takes over as the Dark Lord of the Sith. And that's how they become stronger as opposed to weaker the way things were before. Did you have something to say?
Nope.
Okay. So, because according to Bane, when he talked in the first couple of books, what would happen in the old Sith order was you'd have, thousands of Sith running around. And whenever one apprentice got fed up with the master, several apprentices who were weaker would gang up on the master and they'd defeat him. Even though the master was defeated, it was at the hands of multiple Sith who weren't nearly as powerful, didn't, earn it and learn all the knowledge that the master had. So it would dilute the power of the Sith Empire and of the Sith warriors out there. So Bane saw this. He's like, this is fucked up. I'm just going to start with a clean slate. They're going to wipe everybody out, start fresh, 2 Sith from now on. One master, one apprentice.
Right.
So, and that's where we got at the end of book 1 and really into book 2 also, because book 2, now in hindsight, now that I've read the 3rd one, it was kind of filler almost. It closed some loopholes and did a few things, kind of kept the story moving, but at the same time, we almost could have done without it. It was a good book, don't get me wrong.
I think there were, like, when you had that oh fuck, what was that character's name? You had that. The fact is that they allude to it in book 3. You had that 3rd presence when they take Bane to get the Orbilis off of him.
Oh, Caleb, the healer.
No, you have Caleb. Then you have Caleb's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, there's 4 people. Caleb's daughter, Bane, fucking I wanted to say Rihanna. So
Rihanna.
Why the fuck?
Zana, you mean?
Zana, thank you. And then there was a dude. The fucking
was it her?
No, the
cousin.
The cousin. Yeah, it was some pansy, right? Got his hand cut off.
Yeah.
That he was there too.
Yeah,
I think he was like the filler for most of that fucking book.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was some good content, like good backstory stuff, but for the most part, I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, and a majority of book 2 took place 10 years after book 1.
Right.
And some Jedi were still aware that there might be a Sith Lord out there, and this was them kind of closing the loop on that.
Right.
Like Bane and Zana with that cousin, she like made his mind go crazy. The Jedi like sliced him down, and they're like, job's done, case closed, Miller time.
Yep.
You know, so they thought, okay, Sith are all gone, but really Bane and Zana persisted. And now in Dynasty of Evil, we take place another 10 years after book 2.
It's nice to have consistent decade spacing too.
Yeah,
there.
I like it.
It's kind of like, yeah, right on.
Yeah,
I can put I can wrap my mind around some, like, you know, by 10 fucking year increments.
And I mean, I'm just gonna go through some recap stuff. We'll get into some character stuff, but it starts off where Bane and Zana have now set themselves up as rich traders on some fucking remote planet. I think it's not Doan. That's where the princess is. I can't remember the planets that they're on.
Citrian?
Yeah, it started with a C, like CIT something or other. Anyway, and they're like wealthy. Like the book starts off with Bane walking through a fucking mansion, and it describes like all of like the fucking expensive artwork and everything going on around him, and it's all part of this new facade that him and Zana have built around themselves, because they make it very clear throughout the course of this that the material shit means nothing to Bane. It's all just part of his cover story for him and Zana. Whereas we're introduced to another character later who also uses his affinity for the Force to surround himself with wealth and excess and all that. But he like fucking loves it. You know?
Yeah, because let's face it, we'll get to Set. Yeah. What a fucking name. We'll get to Set later, but let's face it, if any of us discovered Force abilities, A, we'd be Dark Jedi.
Yeah.
B, we'd be using it to our own fucking advantage.
Oh, of course.
Constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly. Like, oh, you want me to go slaughter some younglings? Yeah, I'll do that for a bunch of money. Yeah, I'll go do that. Yeah, it just that type of shit. And then like have some huge palace and host parties in fucking hut space. Yeah. You know, and still manage to fucking be a human walking around like with fucking balls you're pushing around in a wheelbarrow. Yeah, that's what you'd be doing.
Right. But I mean, they make it very clear that Bane and Zana aren't about that. They set up this, you know, this life, but they don't give a shit about the material stuff. Even Zana, you know, they don't care. This is just, you know, how they're progressing their final solution, basically. So, and it starts off with Bane kind of like inner monologuing about how he feels like, you know, he doesn't think Zana's the one at this point, because he'd expected her to try to kill him, take him out at this point, and she hadn't. So he's like, all right, I've got to find a new apprentice or something, because this bitch ain't gonna try to take the mantle from me.
Listen, let's face it, like right off the bat, like Bane has his eccentricity is now like gotten to a point where it's pushed him over the edge. He's having that oh fuck, mad scientist type thing where like oh god damn it, Dave.
Or he's like overthinking everything.
Yeah, or he's just I had this thing in my mind about fucking, you know what? I'm not even going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up because you know why? It's going to be like, okay, this guy played this character, and then so I'm going to like say 3 different movies to get to the fucking dude's name, and then it's going to take us fucking 5 minutes to fucking finally and you know what? It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it.
Okay.
So fuck it.
So yeah, Bane, he's under the impression now that Zana's just not going to be the one. She's not ready. She's content just kind of riding his coattails and is never going to do that. So he's starting to think, okay, I got to fucking do something to replace.
She had opportunities to take him out and she didn't. Yeah. And Bane is seeing that as weakness.
Right. And along the way, we're introduced to this new like twitch he's got in one of his fucking hands.
Right.
Which is a foreshadowing that we'll see come up later on. And then we flip eventually to Zana. There's some stuff in the middle that we're kind of skipping, but
yeah, like the entire thing, dude. Like legitimately, you just like foreshadowing. Like foreshadowing implies like something's going to happen in the immediate future. Like you just described something that happens in the beginning of the book and something that happens right at the very end of the book.
That is true. And
so that little bit in between is like the entire book. So the end. So
yeah, well,
social media.
Well, we're going to get into that, and there's going to be a lot to discuss when we get to that point. But I just wanted to set the stage, you know, for some people, because we do know that some people don't read these books and they rely on us to kind of talk about them here.
Well, exactly. So don't fucking make it seem like, hey, that Twitch we talked about, we're not going to talk about that till we get to the end of the book.
Fine, whatever. So
It's more than semantics, Jason.
right. Well, we go several chapters without actually.
Gladiator.
Okay. The movie?
Yeah. Who's the guy in Gladiator? Russell Crowe.
Oh, yeah.
So Russell Crowe's in a movie where he's like a mathematician or something.
Oh, Beautiful Mind?
Beautiful Mind. That's just happened to Bane. See?
It only took 2 steps.
Well, one long elongated step and then one shorter one.
He was like thinking about this the whole time.
The whole fucking time. All right, so there we go. Howard Hughes, also Howard Hughes. Great example. Thank you, Mark.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So anyway, we go several chapters after this Bane, like, talking about Zana and like, I don't think this bitch is ready. She's not the one.
Rihanna.
Till we finally get a chapter about her, and we finally see things from her perspective. And from her perspective, it was.
It's not that close to the mic.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it'll still come on, but
what would Lando say at a time like this?
It's a dynamite taste.
So, and her perspective is, up to a couple of years ago, I still felt like I had a lot to learn from him. I didn't have all the knowledge I needed to overtake him. It would still be a fucking dead even fight if we did fight. And she was waiting to find a new apprentice. She's like, I don't really want to take him out until I have my, heir apparent identified and at least, get them started on this path. So she's been thinking about it this whole time. It's not that, she's been slacking off like Bane thought. She's like, no, I got to wait for the right time. Got to wait until I have all the knowledge, till I know I can beat him, and until I can, what?
So I just had this thought about like an Air Force thought. Like it would be a great meme about like Bane and Zana and like them sitting down for their ACA.
Oh God.
Or not sitting down for an ACA. Well, if you had actually done a feedback session, then I would know these things.
Oh my God, that's more relevant than most of you probably understand. Yeah, that's good. So
anyway,
yeah,
sorry.
So no, and it's fine. And we kind of get a look into her mind. Then we're introduced to some new characters. So we're introduced to Sarah, right? She's this fucking princess on some fucking.
Is it Sarah or Sarah?
I thought it was spelled Serra, which I took as Sarah.
See, I thought.
Let's roll that tape. He's flipping through the paperbacks book.
Yes.
As we speak.
Well, because the best part about the Legends books is it started right out. Almost every book, it starts out with a character list.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Remember that? Like, so we've talked about this before about Legends books. You had the amazing timeline that would like tell you where you are in the Star Wars Legends novels timeline. But now it says Legends novels timeline. It didn't say it back in the past. And then it has Dramatis Personae. Dramatis Persona. I don't know Latin. Don't speak Spanish.
Okay.
No, I was going to say 3PO, but it's not.
That actually would have been funny.
So it's Serra. So I guess it could be. I thought it was.
I see it as Sarah.
All right. See, but you just said it differently then. Did you say it the same way before?
Sarah.
Not Sarah.
No, not Sarah. Sarah. Jesus Christ. I don't know what's going on right now.
That's not Sarah.
Right. Can't you hear the difference?
The distinct difference there? Sarah.
Anyway, regardless, Sarah is... Wait. Never mind. We're introduced to her as this fucking princess on some fucking mining colony, which this whole mining colony, I feel like was almost like an allusion to, I don't want to say capitalism, but it was kind of, there was a lot of modern day political commentary with this fucking mining place. Doan was the name of the planet.
Yeah.
Where it's like a majority of the people are fucking scummy, low-class miners. And they're mining some fucking material there. And like the whole planet is just fucking torn to shit because they're mining the fuck out of it.
Mm-hmm.
While there's a much smaller high class where they live up on fucking towers and everything. And they're looking down on the fucking commoners who are mining. They're taking all the wealth. Well, all these miners are working their asses off, dying in the mines.
So you know what's interesting, and it's just a Star Warsism, I think, to just maybe it's in Legends material, but it probably applies to pretty much everything.
Mhm.
Like everything is planet wide,
Yeah.
like systems and planets, right? So much like Doan is like the entire. We have talked about this before because now it's popping in my head.
Mhm.
But like Doan is like, you know, basically when you look at it from orbit, you can see how torn apart it is. Like
Yeah.
Aramis, where Caleb and Sarah are from, is like was destroyed by the Jedi in some like massive like Jedi nuclear fucking explosion
Right.
type thing. Like everything seems to happen like in my brain, and I don't know if it's just because like I don't know astrophysics, you know, like it's again it's that Star Warsism that plays into like you think about it the size of an actual planet. Like what you would have to do to like this spot to make it occur planet wide is so voluminous that
Mhm.
it just seems impractical and improbable. It's almost like getting a fucking trailer
Right.
like before the movie actually comes out.
Well, you think about it in terms of Earth, right? There's a lot of shit going on Earth. You know, there is a desert area, but it's not a desert fucking planet. There's fucking beautiful green,
Well,
lush vegetative areas.
And there's multiple different types of deserts. So you have
Yeah.
like the Gobi Desert, or you have the high desert that you have in like in the United States. You have
Yeah.
the deserts in South America, you know, just in like in Peru. You have the Siberian, I can't think of the is it Siberian plain? Like that, isn't that what they call that?
Sure.
Anyway, up in Siberia, it's like in that tundra area. It's
Yeah.
you know, geologically, I think that's considered a desert also. So it's such the Earth is such an amazing like congregation of all this like place where life can happen.
Right.
That to imagine that like
Whereas they're so general in Star
Yeah.
Wars.
every once in a while I just get hung up on it.
Yeah.
Like, every once in a while. And
No,
it
I
was-
get it. It's like how can there be an entire planet that's just a desert? How is that possible? How
Right.
is there an entire planet that is nothing but ice? Well,
Yeah.
that I can see more, but you know.
Well, yeah, because we see it. You know,
Right.
it's like a visible thing. You can get a look through a telescope and see a moon. You can see Titan, which is no, it's not Titan. Titan's metalloid.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what I'm talking
But
about.
anyway.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and we can get more into this when we get into the astronomy of Star Wars.
Well, see, this is good though. It makes that a more viable topic to me. The astronomy of Star Wars.
Oh yeah. So
Romans.
yes,
The Romans used lead.
did they?
That's how far back it goes.
Jesus.
Yeah, the Romans used lead, but
Yeah.
no, not in modern history.
Bloody Romans.
It's always been graphite.
But we've always referred to them as lead pencils. And
Yeah, I don't have no fucking idea why.
Yeah.
There's probably some English like translation like from because English is translated from Latin, and I'm sure there's like some correlation there that wasn't immediately in the Wikipedia thing that I looked at, which obviously is gospel.
Right. Yes.
It is the comicbook.com of information. So obviously that's 100% accurate. And what were we talking about? I'm sorry.
We were talking about Sarah, who was the princess of Doan,
It's right there.
who's we find out, these miners are starting to rebel. Fucking they launch an attack, kill the fucking prince, which is this broad's husband, which is like, okay, whatever. Jedi gets sent to investigate, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, this Sarah is the daughter of Caleb, who we met in both book 1 and 2 of the Darth Bane series. He's the guy that fucking healed Bane both times, where Bane fucking, tortured his daughter, Sarah, in the first book to convince Caleb to heal him. And then again in the second book, where Zana fucking cut a deal with him. It's like, all right, we'll call in the Jedi if you heal him. And she cut his ass up after that.
Right.
But whatever. So yeah, this is all kind of coming back to that character. Sarah is that daughter that we saw in the first book. So we're introduced to her and we're like, okay, this is interesting that, they're bringing her back into the story. Then come to find out Sith artifacts been found on this fucking planet, and she gets pulled into this whole storyline. Another character that's introduced is this Huntress, a Force-sensitive person, also sent to Doan because when the Jedi were sent to investigate, fucking Sarah's bodyguard sends the Huntress out there.
Who you haven't introduced yet.
Right. The Huntress. Sarah's bodyguard?
Yeah.
We'll get to her. She's on the list.
Well, you're bringing... All right.
Well, we're talking about Huntress for now. So anyway, Huntress, we find out, is Force sensitive. She can use the Force to kind of manipulate and hide herself a little bit from other Force users. She kills this fucking Jedi that the Jedi Council sent to investigate this murder and everything.
She's a Thorian.
Yes, which is like the big horns coming down from the fucking side of their heads. And there's like at least one Jedi in the fucking prequels that's in Nick Thorian, or however the fuck you say it. So yeah, so she gets pulled into this whole fucking storyline, and she's Force sensitive, so that's gonna play in later. Then we're introduced to Lucia or Lucia. I don't know. I think I in my head pronounced it Lucia, Lucia. She is the bodyguard to Sarah, and we don't learn this until like fucking 3/4 through the goddamn book that this Lucia girl who is
so
what's wrong?
Put a Thorian. Like I said, a Thorian. You totally went with it, right?
Yeah,
that's an Thorian.
Oh, the hammerhead guy. No, it's Ick. It starts with an IK.
It's like Toby Gotchi with an IK.
Oh, Iktachi. Okay.
Yeah, I said a Thorian. You went with it. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Let me
Yeah,
look that up.
it.
And then I threw it in there. I'm like, oh fuck no, God, I couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah,
but is that not the most hilarious picture you've ever seen? A fucking
the
hammerhead with a goddamn.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. Well, and he was he in this book or was he in the last book, the hammerhead fucking Jedi guy?
I don't know. God.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're introduced to Lucia, who's the bodyguard of Sarah, who's a prominent figure in this whole fucking.
He might be in this one because when he goes back to.
Right,
he was the fucking.
He was the master of Set Hearth.
Yes,
that's what it was. So
there wasn't a Thorian in here.
This will all make sense.
And a Toby Gotchi.
Oh my god. Anyway, Lucia, bodyguard of Sarah, for the 5th time. She's in this book throughout, but we don't find out until like 3/4 of the way through the fucking book that she was part of the Sith army, and she served with Dessel in the fucking Gloomwalkers, that fucking squad, which Dessel is Darth Bane.
Mm-hmm.
So she fucking served with Darth Bane in the first book when he was part of the Gloomwalkers, part of the Sith army. But yeah, we don't find that until way later on in the book. So this is all more shit that's getting intertwined in this final storyline.
But to give Drew Karpyshyn credit, like he gives you enough detail when he introduces you to Lucia that it kind of alludes you to the fact that like they might have been on the same battlefield, like she like with the Gloomwalkers and everything else.
Well,
like
they were in the same squadron.
Well, like we find out it's not that we find out later that they're like they find out each other were on the same battlefield, right. Her and Bane, as opposed to like. It's pretty much introduced right away that she was part of the Gloomwalkers. So if you've read the entire trilogy, then you can make those. You can make.
I don't think it said it early in the book.
I'm almost positive it did.
Oh,
yeah.
Then I didn't pick up on that. So for me, when we got towards the end, and she,
it definitely was early on.
Okay, yeah. Then I must have just totally missed that. So and then the final of these new characters that are introduced is Set Hearth that we were talking about. Mm-hmm. He's the Dark Jedi. He broke off from the fucking Jedi Order and he started like collecting Sith artifacts, and he's the guy who also lives in excess, big mansion fucking on Nal Hutta of all fucking planets. So he's socializing with the Hutts, using his Force powers to fucking increase his wealth, and clearly he doesn't care about the War of the Sith and the Jedi and everything else. He's just all about making himself profitable and everything.
Kind of in this paragraph right here where it talks about the
motherfucker.
It's like on page 30.
Yeah, that
so totally... I think it's not even in. I think it's just after the epilogue.
Yeah, that went way over my fucking head then, because I didn't associate the Gloomwalkers with with Bane and all that.
Reach back for the. I got you.
Yeah. So
I'm not as dumb as I look, folks.
But yeah, those are the new characters in a nutshell, and they all kind of come together in this intertwining story around Bane and fucking Zana, because it starts off where we talked about Bane having his problem.
No, my brain is really going. I'm going off the deep end today.
Okay.
So you know what Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Which part?
The end.
Uh-huh.
So in what's his name? Cocaine dude. Oh God. What happens?
Did they do cocaine in Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
No, but remember the guy at the end when she's sitting in the police station?
Oh,
With-
Charlie Sheen?
With Charlie Sheen, thank you.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen!
Winning.
So when she's sitting with Charlie Sheen and she introduces herself and she's like the music's playing in the background, Shauna, Steve, Shauna. So every time you say Zana, well, the last couple times you said Zana, that's like song's been in my head. Shauna.
Because he just starts laughing out of fucking nowhere. I'm like, what's
all this
going
shit?
on
There's
over here?
so much going on, like in my fucking dome. It
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
So-
I tried to stop. I tried to stop myself that time, to be honest.
Okay.
I tried not to derail you.
Well, Bane,
Shauna.
his solution,
Steve.
and I think it's based off of some Sith artifact that he found, or some Sith sacred text, the sacred Sith text that he had, because he had a shitload of stuff in his library, like Sith artifacts, books, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, he was all about the books.
Yeah, and he's reading, he's doing research, and he finds out that there's this old Darth Anaddu or Anaddu, or
Amadeus.
Yeah,
That's basically
yeah,
what
Dar-
it turned
yeah.
into in my head.
Darth Amadeus.
Amadeus.
He he figured out the secret to eternal life. I say in quotes, because what it ended up being was the transferring of your soul, your essence, to another body.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, this is so funny too, because as soon as I finished this book, like I'm like, oh, love this fucking book, great stuff, Old Republic era. I'm gonna go play the Old Republic. I'm playing through the Sith Inquisitor storyline.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes a major plot point in the Sith Inquisitor storyline.
No
The
shit.
fucking transferring of your essence to a new body.
Ah,
I'm like, whoa, I just fucking read about this. And that is actually going to be part of my theory for what happened at the very end of this book. So,
okay.
because something happened in the Old Republic during that storyline. It's
All right.
very similar,
Well, it gives me something to look forward to. Then.
yeah, to what happened here. And
Hopefully
yeah,
we get to it if we have enough time.
I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have enough time. So yeah, so Bane's like, all right, well, fuck it. If she's not going to take over, then I'm just going to find a new body, find a new apprentice, and just keep pressing on.
Knowing that because he's been losing his ability. Like he knows that
Right.
physically after the orbalisks were taken off of him, that as he's getting older, that he's not physically able to do it with his body as much.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that he's going to grow weaker, he's in order to either she's going to take over or he's going to fucking
Right,
need
and
a new body.
he doesn't want her to defeat him when he's in a weakened state,
Mhm.
because that kind of cheats the whole concept of the rule of two, right? If she can't beat him when he's at his peak, then they're never going to get better.
We have to have a legitimate like rule of two conversation here at the end, because Seth Harth makes a great point in the book about this at the end. We got to make sure we talk about it.
Okay, yeah.
Because like this rule of two thing, and there's so many fucking random other people, like
Yeah.
it kind of like you read it and you're like, okay, roll two. Yeah, absolutely. Makes a lot of sense, right? Because you think binary, you think like, okay, where there was Palpatine, there was Darth, right? Where there
Mhm.
was, where there was Bane, there was Zana.
Yeah.
But then like, okay, but then there's this other potential, and this other potential, and then
Oh,
this Dark
sure,
Jedi,
yeah.
and there's all these other people. So like the rule of two really is just it's a mantelpiece as much as it's an actual like rule of the Sith. Ow.
Sure, yeah, and it's, obviously because there's more force sensitive people out there in the galaxy than just two. So,
Really? Would they be moving brooms with their minds, Jason?
potentially. Wouldn't it be great if the fucking broom kid ended up being like the next Sith
Being
Lord?
the Sith Lord,
That would be awesome.
that would be you would have to fucking eat your words.
Yeah.
Because you basically said that you wanted that kid to fucking fall in an age tree and die,
I
or words
do-
to that effect.
I do want that kid to die. Fuck that kid.
Yeah. So if he did become a Sith Lord, though, that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah. And oh man, and then
he would
you'd
have
look
reason
at
to live.
you'd look at the Last Jedi in a completely different light too. So
Dude, how fucking crazy would that be? If that's how they fucking finish that movie, where that kid, instead of the fucking rebel like symbol, like has a fucking ring or something, they give you like some dark side imagery, like where he's like he brings it to his hand and it's like the rise of the Sith.
uh-huh.
How fucking amazing would it be? Like, here's the beginning of the rise of the Sith,
Right.
and in episode 9 is like dun, 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 dun. It's just fucking.
That would be great. Because you think about it from his perspective. He's like, who's this fucking bitch who's releasing all my fucking horses? Fuck her.
Like, fuck this bitch.
Fuck her and her stupid rings.
Fucking
you know?
Yeah, man. That would be a great alternate universe,
Yes.
like Star Wars. Like, somebody get on that. Somebody
Yeah.
write that shit down.
Oh, that's great.
Jason, write that shit down.
All right.
No more pencil then.
Yeah. So anyway, I forgot where I was.
I don't remember.
So yeah, so Bane's like, all right, I'm gonna go find this fucking Darth Amadeus, his fucking holocron. It's all about the holocrons too. Holocrons are like play a huge part in this whole fucking trilogy.
Well, yeah, because he spent the entire second book trying to figure out how to make one.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, the
Excuse me.
holocrons are very important as far as like imparting that Sith knowledge. So this was the point where I mentioned this on the show a few weeks ago, where he has to go into the core worlds, which again, if you think about a galaxy, like a real galaxy, the center of it is like filled with fucking stars. The stars are more tightly packed as to when you get towards the outer rims of the
Right.
galaxy, the stars are more spread out. So he has to go to a fucking core world that's like inside like this fucking cluster of stars, and it's not like easy to navigate. So he's gotta make like hundreds of light speed jumps. And I got really excited when I was reading the last one.
Obviously, Vector Prime really must have got you going.
Actually, that was a good book. Just gonna wait for Dave.
In the train, apparently. Did you realize that it says that in here too? The Dromedas
Personae.
Yeah.
Huh, I did not.
And this legend one too. Interesting.
No
There's
shit.
there's no map.
Of course, you picked the one without the fucking
Of course,
map.
I picked the one without.
Check the
fucking
back.
map.
Check the back. Fucking.
You're back.
You should have picked Vector Prime.
Throwing us off the rails, Jason. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm throwing us off the rails.
Yeah.
I'm the one. There you go. Look at that.
Here.
He's got the map of the galaxy.
All right, so
So we
Draw
got the
your circle.
fucking the core worlds here in the middle. So we got the deep core, the core worlds, where when stars are fucking clustered together in any standard galaxy, and then they kind of spread out as you get to the outer
So-
regions.
fun fact, Jason. Like, you might as well be waving your hands in the air magically because nobody can see what you're fucking doing right now.
All right, well, fuck it. Then why did we even do this?
No, because you're like holding it flat like this. Like, see, the camera would like, there we go. See, then it'd be closer to the camera.
Anyway,
Now draw your circles and arrows.
so no, I'm not doing it now. But this was what I was talking about a few weeks ago about, traveling through hyperspace and how it's not very easy when you get to the middle of the fucking galaxy and you got to go to one of these core worlds. And they went to it in great detail in this, where Bane had to make multiple light speed jumps to fucking try to
the
traverse.
collapsing hyperlanes and shit
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So, which again, we have to do like this fucking episode where we talk about like hyperspace travel, how it fucking
Basically,
works.
talk about this.
Yeah, we just pull that up and we draw lines and we do things and reactor and all that stuff.
Reactor. I'm trying to. Is the planet? What was the name of the planet you went to?
In the core worlds?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I don't remember.
Yeah, Doro, Fondor, Kuat. Nah, I don't. It doesn't. Corellia was it core world?
No.
Well, there's core world, then there's deep core.
I believe the Kessel was probably a core world. It's fucking riveting for the audio.
I mean, it's not like we're not showing the video audience either, so it doesn't.
Yeah, so they're just like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Our usual nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're tuning in for anyway.
Indeed.
Kessel's not even on here.
What?
Yeah, do you believe it?
I don't believe it.
So we'll have to. There's Both in space. Many Bothans.
Died to bring us this information.
Yeah.
All right, so while he's looking at that, I am cracking my third beer from the refugees. This is Founders Porter, Dark, Rich, and Sexy.
And sexy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is that the name of it? Dark, Rich, and Sexy? Interesting.
and please the court let it be known that Jason, while he's in charge, is trying to get all fucking juiced up before he goes back to work tomorrow.
But I'm in charge, so fuck him. If I want to come in late, I'll come in
I
late.
think that is the name of it. Dark, Rich, Sexy Founders.
The way I like my women.
They do have black hearts. There's a black heart there in the middle of it.
Nice. So anyway, where was I? The fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so
Empire stuff.
Yeah, Bane goes to the core worlds. He doesn't want fucking the homegirl Zana,
Twinkle Tits.
Yeah, to know what he's up to. So he sends her to go investigate these fucking Sith artifacts. That's where she ends up going to Doan, I think, right? She goes to Doan from there.
Oh, fuck if I can remember.
Yeah,
now at this point.
So basically they split up.
I should have wrote this shit down.
Yeah, they split up. She goes to Doan to look for these fucking Sith artifacts that were found. Long story short,
yes,
shit starts coming together, and we can kind of skip a lot of the middle part. Ultimately, Bane finds Andadu's Amadeus's fucking hologram, and hologram. He finds Jim in the holograms, and then he finds the holocron, and learns the secret of fucking body jumping, so to speak.
So there was an interesting part. He has to do this, like, impose his will on the holocron itself, because I guess it shows that, like, in order to get deep into the, like, he had to basically like slice the holocron, because the gatekeeper was being a real prick.
Right. He wasn't just letting him have the information.
Yeah, this Darth Amadeus guy was fucking just a real tool.
Yeah.
Like, which is witnessed by apparently, like, the way he ruled in this, like, godlike status.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, I am a god. And as soon as it was cut off from the rest of the I guess what they were saying was that the planet itself had gotten cut off from the rest of the core worlds. So they were left there to die.
Right.
So there was really nothing left of this, except for these worshippers of, Darth Amadeus,
mm-hmm.
who I love. Every time Bane rolls in somewhere, it's like this just massive amounts of killings. All of the killings.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to stroll in here and just like, I'm just like, it every time Bane goes into one of these rampages, it's just like, oh yes, I can totally envision myself being this guy.
Yeah, and even
it's
though
like, I hate everything and everybody, and you all will get your throats crushed.
Yeah, and even though he talks about in the beginning how he's starting to age, it still describes him as being like fucking just jacked. Like, just imagine like some jacked fucking roided out bodybuilder, in addition to having like crazy Sith powers, just rolling in and just fucking annihilating.
So it's honestly, if if you have no visualization at all about Darth Bane from listening to the podcast or whatever, imagine if you're a Batman guy, imagine Bane,
mm-hmm.
and then like take the mask off of him.
Yeah.
So you got some
and throw a cowl.
Yeah, muscle bound guy, put him in a fucking robe, and that's like Bane. That's the way I associate. Not so big, not like He-Man big, not like He-Man Skeletor big, but I picture him like just him being pro wrestler big, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah,
yeah.
WrestleMania was last night, so I can.
Yeah, well, there was already a John Cena reference in the
in the chat. Yeah. Nice. So, yeah. So, that's happening with Bane. Zana's going out. She investigates Sith holocron, gets word of this fucking dark Jedi, this Jedi who defected from the Jedi Order, Sedharth. The whole time she's like, I gotta find a fucking apprentice. She's like, I gotta find somebody to be my apprentice before I take on Bane, because she's almost ready. She's like, I'm pretty sure I can fucking kick this guy's ass at this point, but she's not quite ready because she wants an apprentice first.
Right.
So she gets word of Sedharth, and she goes out looking for him through a series of other events that we won't fucking.
Right. Well, she goes to Doan and gets fucking sidetracked in there.
Yeah.
See, that whole, just as you're following along and reading the book, I honestly thought that the Huntress was going to be they picked up as the apprentice, like straight from the beginning. Like Set Hearth, I thought was going to be like some sort of protagonist for a moment, but the actual like her target of like she would hear about this other Jedi getting killed and be looking for the Huntress, not necessarily for Set Hearth.
Well, and that's the beauty of this book, because in addition to Huntress and in addition to Set Hearth, they also mentioned that Sarah was Force sensitive. You know, she had Force abilities as well.
Right. Well, she had the healer abilities.
Right. But I mean, they made no bones about it. She did have some Force sensitivity to her.
So sidebar.
Yeah.
Healer, right? So you have this Caleb, who was this like healer and the whole backstory of like going into book 1 and talking about Caleb and not necessarily like going along with the politics of everything and not like, no, I'm not healing anybody. I'm staying out of your war, man.
Yeah.
Like
fucking hippie.
Yeah. Hippies suck in every galaxy.
Yeah.
So that she is like, she mentioned it several times in the book, like I am my father's daughter. So she's obviously the healer. It makes me wonder, like I made this connection probably inappropriately to the fucking what's his nuts in the very beginning of Force Awakens, the priest.
Fuck.
See, I'm not the only one who forgets names.
Oh god, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
God
damn it. It's right fucking there. Oh, what's his name? Ah, shit. All right. Somebody wrote Taco Donna. Yeah, that's what it is, Isaac. No, but to go along with your point, what you were saying before.
Laura Santeca.
Thank you. I thought at any point, any of these three could end up being the apprentice, because Sarah had like a lot of dark tones to the things she was doing. She really did kind of think down on like these fucking the miners as kind of like trash. Like she was embracing her fucking aristocratic lifestyle. She when her husband got killed, she was really fucking angry. She really wanted like the miners or these fucking terrorists to pay. When she found out that her bodyguard Lucia hired Huntress to kill that group, she's like, I'm okay with this. And in fact, let's hire that bitch again to do this other job that I've got.
Right.
So she was like vengeful. She was really leaning heavily to the dark side. So I thought it could be any of these three, either Huntress, because they alluded to her being Force sensitive, Set Hearth, and fucking Sarah. And as the book progressed, the beauty of this whole thing was that all of these storylines were all starting to converge onto one fucking moment where they were all in the same place at the same time. And that was about the last 20% of the book. And I was kind of on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Right. It's kind of get to the point where like I need to finish this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how late I got to stay up. I need to finish this.
And that's pretty much how I read the last 20% of this book, because Zana eventually confronts Set Hearth, and she like just ambushes him at his house. They have a battle. She defeats him eventually, and she's like, all right, you can be my apprentice, or I can fucking kill you right now.
So did you get, when you were like that battle between the two of them, like they tried to make it seem like she was toying with him for a minute, then kind of got like, oh shit, this guy's better than I thought. Now I gotta like reel it in a little bit. Like I got the impression like maybe, well, I don't want to spoil no spoilers here.
Yeah.
Now I don't even look at anything. I just kind of look away.
Yeah.
Like I say, no, don't look at the screen. Dave, look here. That she wasn't ready to beat Bane.
No,
I don't think she was. I honestly think that we're going to come to this culmination of events that like honestly shows that she was not, like, she didn't have the stones, for lack of a better term, to fucking go in there. That confidence or whatever to beat Bane all out. Like, she's going through the motions and she's like, yeah, I know I can do this. I really know. Yeah, I know I can. And then and she gets into battle with this Dark Jedi and she's like, oh, fuck, man. Like, she's initially like got him, pretty much like, oh, fuck this dude. I've got him.
Yeah.
And then he's better than she thought. Now she's like, oh, fuck. Now I gotta fucking actually do some shit.
Yeah, and ultimately she's got to kind of use her mind magic,
Right?
Which we were introduced to in previous.
It's
books.
the spells, yeah. The sorcery, the Sith spells.
Because you think about her as like a Sith Inquisitor in the Old Republic,
right?
Whereas Bane is a Sith warrior. He's like just the brute, the guy with the fucking lightsaber and the strength, and he's just gonna beat the piss out of you.
Right.
Where she's more sorcery, dual bladed lightsaber, kind of faster, more agile, and she uses that Sith sorcery to put fucking Seth under a spell for a while. Ultimately convinces him to be her apprentice, even though she can tell he's really not that into it.
Right.
Like he's more into it for like the glory and the
and
the power
but she does know that. Like she knows it straight away. It's like, I know this dude's not in it for the right reasons right now.
Yeah.
But he's either going to get it the fuck figured out, or I'm going to take him out and I'll find somebody else.
Right. It's one of those things.
This is the best thing I'm going to get right now.
Where, funny story, good sidebar and everything. It's there's this guy at my work that we're like, all right, let's just promote him to staff sergeant and we'll mold him from there, into the NCO that we want him to be.
Epic failure. Epic failure. That never works. That never ever works.
And it ultimately didn't work for Zana.
Yeah.
So all of this kind of culminates to where I can't remember exactly how it happened, but Sarah, she realizes like she's obsessed with Bane. Like throughout the whole book, she's like going back to these visions of Bane fucking attacking her dad and her and all that. And I don't know how it happened, but she eventually is like, we're going to get this motherfucker. And they rehire the Huntress and she's like, find this guy. All I know is he's bald and he's a Sith and he killed my dad.
But remember that the Huntress, it was the ability to fuck with people and it wasn't so much she was able to limit their abilities it was the fact that she was able to limit their abilities in the Force.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like almost putting something around them where they weren't able to like use the Force effectively,
for like outside perception,
right?
Kind of like see the environment around,
see the environment, even use their Force abilities, like it to put up a shield or to repel an attack or something like that.
Right.
She's able to do that, and she also sees the future.
Yes,
that's the big thing. That's the big thing with the Huntress is like she's able to get the jump on people because she's Force sensitive enough to see the flow of the future, and what I think is cool about her character is that they show the always in motion in the future is shit where it's like, okay, I see it this way in a dream, I see it this way in a dream, I see it this way in a dream, so I'm going to stand back here and kind of see how this fucking plays out.
But either way, she knows she's a major player in what's to come,
right?
For the events that are about to unfold. But yeah, Sarah tells her bodyguard Lucia, like, hire this fucking Huntress bitch again. Let's fucking find this Bane guy. We're gonna capture him. We're gonna torture him, and we're gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah, and when they do meet up, because they meet on Aramis.
Yeah.
Right. And she's like, she goes into the fucking vault and picks up some spells or some potion that her daddy made.
Yeah.
And the Huntress like, you think this shit's really gonna work? Like you think it's gonna work?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, trust me. It's not going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Just all you need to do is nick old boy with this stuff. He's going to go down like a sack of hammers.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right.
Aside from killing like 15 people.
Right. So yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
So yeah, Huntress goes out, her and like 50 fucking troops. They go to Bane's.
20. It was her and 20.
Right. And they go
Remember, I actually read this like
true,
recently. So there's actually nuggets of information that are believable.
And just as Bane is finally getting back from like Darth Amadeus's planet, Huntress and like all these fucking troops are waiting for him because she somehow figures out who he is, where he is, and they go to his place. They ambush him, and the way they describe the battle is fucking epic, right? Because even though Bane was at a disadvantage, he didn't sense them at first.
Well, because he used so much of his energy to fucking slice into the holocron that he was in a weakened state. So he's rolling it. He's rolling back into the shed, going like, "Fuck, man, I hope fucking Zana doesn't pick this point to fucking try and take me.
Yeah,
because it'll be bullshit. Because I'm fucking weakened." And then instead he gets fucking jumped by the Huntress and fucking 20 other dudes.
Yeah, and
still fucking takes out a whole fuck ton of them. Even though she had like plotted traps and all this other shit, and apparently she nicked him just enough with her fucking blade.
Yeah, her
to-
little poison blade.
That Syntax or whatever the fucking drug of choice was.
Yeah, so but yeah, they eventually fucking capture Bane, which surprised the shit out of me. And you know what this kind of reminded me of? Did you ever see the second Hannibal Lecter movie? Fucking
No.
Hannibal?
Nope.
Very similar situation to that, where like somebody else is like looking for vengeance on the guy that did them wrong, and they captured Hannibal Lecter and they fucking, you know, did all this shit to him. So in a sense, they kind of turned the bad guy almost into the sympathetic character. And they do this with Bane.
Right.
So she fucking captures Bane, takes him back to Doan, to these like underground prisons and shit. We could like go into that whole
the
fucking
legendary stone prison.
Yeah, which that's the whole thing with the whole class warfare and all the politics stuff. But they put him down in this abandoned dungeon, and fucking Sarah goes in with all of her little fucking syringes, her little like torture juice. Because again, she's a healer. She knows all about fucking all this alchemy and shit.
She's got, here's my red needle, here's my green needle, here's the fucking black needle.
And like she's going just like full on dark. She's like fucking injecting him with this shit, like fucking putting him through excruciating pain and all this. And she's like, "You motherfucker, you're the guy who killed my dad," blah blah blah.
And he's like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You had to have been." Like, "No, I didn't kill him."
Yeah.
And then she's like, what?" And it's just, now she has doubt. She has doubt about what she's doing. Fucking old Sarah girl's fucking, you know, starting to back down from her shit.
Right. But this, go ahead.
I was gonna say, meanwhile, fucking Lucy, I want to say Lucia.
Yeah.
But Lucia, is it Lucia or how have we been saying it?
I've been saying Lucia.
So Lucia, we'll keep going with that. Lucia is recognizes Homeboy as soon as she fucking gets down into the cellar.
Yeah, she gets into the fucking like the holding cell, and she's like, "Oh shit, that's fucking Dez."
Right.
You know, and she's got this, you know, this real fucking soldier mentality. Like, was the guy in my squadron who saved my fucking life on countless occasions.
It's like a Wookiee life debt thing almost, where it's like, oh, I have a life debt to this guy, and I have a life debt to her too. Shit.
Yeah.
He came first, so
yeah, and she eventually lets him go.
It's like, I'm gonna stab him with this stuff, and then I'm gonna go ahead and roll out, and we'll see what happens. Like, we'll let fate take its course.
Right. And all along the way, somehow Zana figured out also that Bane had been captured and that he was also taken to Doan. I can't remember what the exact circumstances were, but when she got back to the fucking mansion with her apprentice, she's like, "Oh, some shit just went down here." And she eventually...
Well, yeah, the best part of that is, so they fucking, all hell breaks loose in the fucking, I have this image of like walking into like some place, you know, it's like the grand piano's playing in the background. It's like some ritzy place. It's got fucking dual staircases going up like this, fucking balconies, chandeliers, right? Because at one point, Bane's on the fucking chandeliers, jumping on the fucking people. It's like a scene like from an Incredible Hulk episode.
Right.
And the fucking, not that I would know anything about that because it's a Marvel thing and I don't do Marvel, but but they fucking collect the bodies. Like the huntress like, collect up the bodies so they don't know what happened here. Meanwhile, the fucking Xana comes in. She's like, the fucking scorch marks and fucking every piece of furniture is imploded into the fucking walls.
Yes, something went down here.
Something is amiss. Something just doesn't seem right here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there should have been furniture in this room,
right,
and not giant scorch marks on the fucking walls,
right?
But collect up all the bodies. And then she does find some fucking like, oh, these are the colors of the fucking Doan guards, and that's how she gets to Doan, because she finds some like blue and gold fucking thing, off of what would have been one of the soldiers that they were there to capture him.
Sure. So she makes her way to Doan with Set Hearth. Right. So they make their way there.
Who's being a real prick through this whole thing, by the way.
He's got his feet up on the fucking console as they're flying through hyperspace.
She's doing shit like she's slamming on the brakes or like fucking hitting her hyperspace real quick to like throw him off balance and shit. It's just like, oh my God. Like, just choke this dude out. Don't let him be such a arrogant ass.
And this is the point at the end of the book where all these stories kind of come together. So fucking Lucia, she sees Bane, she's like, I owe this guy a life debt, right, and I'm gonna let him go. Like, after like Sarah like tortures them with all these fucking like torture juices, and then he's not telling her what she wants to hear, so she fucking runs off crying like a woman. And then Lucia follows her after.
The views of Jason are not necessarily the views of All Things Star Wars Podcast or Dave.
So, yeah, Lucia's like, all right, I'm gonna revive this motherfucker and then go run after Sarah and just make sure she's okay.
Yeah, she does like this real like sly, like, all right, I saw what this needle does. I'm gonna hit him with this needle, then fucking come storming out of here while everybody's got their head turned.
Yeah, which she knows is gonna eventually revive him, bring back his powers and all that. Meanwhile, fucking Huntress is still around. Like, even though she helped capture Bane, she's still just chilling. She's like, no, I want to see what's going on. Like, I want to watch this thing to the end and see what happens. Even though fucking Sarah and everybody else is like, get the fuck out of here. We don't need you. She's like, no, I want to stay.
I'm just going to... And, like, you just picture, like, as shit's happening in the hallways and, like, Sarah's crying and Lucia's like, no, I have the hots for you. No, don't go. No. I had the whole undertone too. There's like this whole lesbian scissoring thing.
Thought about that.
There's like this whole lesbian scissoring thing that was supposed that I had imagined in my head. Right. So like
this is where Dave Heads goes when he reads books.
Exactly. So didn't you know this was a friggin' smut novel?
Yeah.
So then, meanwhile, the Huntress just kind of following along in the hallway, watching them cry and do the thing.
Yeah, I can just see her.
What the fuck are you still doing here? And she's like, oh, I'm just entertaining.
I can just see her like leaning against the wall, arms crossed, just like, no, go about your way.
Just go ahead. It's all good.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Yeah. And then, fucking Zana lands. She tells Set, hey, stay with the fucking ship. I'm going to go get Bane out of here and we'll be all cool in the gang. What's up?
Oh, I needed a mental image real quick. All right.
Sulsky's chat is classic. So
dear Lord.
And so Bane, of course, comes to. He fucking just like destroys shit when he gets away from these motherfuckers, but he doesn't have his fucking lightsaber.
Right.
That is one thing where they took his lightsaber, and so now he's got to break out of here.
Well, old girl has it. Remember
Huntress.
that? Yeah, the Huntress has it. So remember when all the shit was going down? This is where I made the allusion to when the Huntress picks up the lightsaber. She's like, huh, because she gets it.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Fucking Citrix or Citrus or whatever it is.
Yeah, where they captured Bane.
They captured Bane, and she's like, that's where she fucking has the holocron. And also gets his lightsaber. And it's like just marveling at how light it was.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where Bane's fucking lightsaber is.
Okay. And then also the holocron ended up in, I think it somehow ended up in Sarah's possession. But she stored it away somewhere in this fucking dungeon.
She grabbed it and it was in the wall safe.
Right. Which
that's Darth Amadeus's holocron.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
What about?
Yeah, no, dude, that's the only holocron we're talking about.
Yeah, all right, yeah, never mind. I thought fucking Bane's holocron was
so while fucking Zana goes into this fucking prison, Set, like, I guess he somehow senses the fucking holocron. He's like, I'm gonna go check this out. So he leaves the fucking ship, like Zana told him not to, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna grab this fucking holocron and I'm gonna beat feet the fuck out of here because I'm done with this broad. Yeah, this Sith shit is for the birds. I'm just gonna get this holocron, which is calling to me, and I'll be out.
Because it was a classic, like he's standing by the ship, going, "Man, this fucking sucks." Yeah, he's like kicking dirt around, like, and it is. It's very. It's almost fucking Star Wars as directed by fucking. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, Dave. For reals? You're not gonna remember it? Quentin Tarantino.
Oh,
so you got like these, like all these. Basically, all these lines of story or otherwise known as storylines. And he's the one that's had 3 beers.
Yeah.
I'm just not getting enough oxygen to my brain, apparently.
Yeah.
So you have all these fucking storylines that are taking place all at the same time. So it cuts back to Set Hearth, basically kicking dirt around. So everything culminates to that one point where the self-destruct mechanism has fucking blown.
Right, in the prison itself.
Basically, that's the timing. So as you're reading it, like it all comes to that one point where the Spaceball style self-destruct button is fucking happening.
Yeah. And he senses the holocron. He goes, he finds it in the safe, somehow gets in the safe, and he's like, ooh, all right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to get the fuck out. Meanwhile, Zana's looking for Bane. Bane has already escaped. He can sense Zana. This
Right.
is the crazy thing.
Well, did we talk about that Seth actually is the one that told Zana about the Amadeus holocron? That's
right.
That's a huge point, because Seth basically, like, because he was the disciple of fucking
Hammerhead dude.
yeah, fucking Jedi chisel chest.
The Athorian.
Yeah. And he was the keeper of knowledge, right? So basically he had fucking he had Set driven to the dark side by sitting in a fucking library. You know,
Right.
how do you punish a kid that fucking hates to read? Let's keep him in the library, right?
Like, oh, I'm so bored.
I'm so fucking bored. I'm going to the dark side.
Yeah.
So, but not almost. Not all the way. I'm not going all the way to the dark side.
Right. He didn't go Sith. He was just considered a dark Jedi.
Right. Which that's a whole thing too. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
So Set actually tells Zana, like, because Zana basically finds out from all right.
Yeah.
So you have to like start in the beginning where Zana is like friendly with the fucking customs guy. The custom guys tell Zana, like, hey, your boy Darth, fucking, or whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah.
Your boy Bane he went somewhere. I thought I heard this system. And then Set's like, oh, that system? That's the Darth Amadeus fucking, how you doing, right? And then she's like, what? He's like, yeah, Darth Amadeus. You never heard of him? He's the guy that could like fucking,
change bodies and, all that
live
stuff.
forever. And then she's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, that motherfucker was going to completely bypass me, fucking kill me off, and then fucking live forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
So, and which, in her eyes is like, that's completely
violating the rule of two.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I was hoping you would continue saying it, because then we could have said it in unison.
Yeah.
But you stopped.
Right. You got too much of an overpowering voice. So
I know.
So
Fair enough.
So yeah, all this shit's going down. Bane has no lightsaber, so he's fucking roaming these fucking halls with no lightsaber, just like killing motherfuckers left and right,
just throwing them, crushing their throats, fucking collapsing walls on them.
Yeah, he's
all the fun stuff.
Yeah, he's pursuing Sarah because he's like, I'm gonna kill this bitch.
Yeah,
like fuck
her and her needles.
Yeah, and then he's like, wait a minute. What the fuck is Zana doing here? He senses Zana, so he starts like trying to throw her off. He's like, this bitch is gonna fucking kill me now.
Right.
Yeah, fuck her. So he like does this like whole little mental thing to throw her off, making her think he's where he's not. All the while, he's like, now why did this other fucking bitch let me go? Like, who the fuck is she? Like,
right.
He's like, what is this all about? Lucia corners him in the fucking hallway. She's like, Dez. And he's like, what?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, we were in the glue markers together and blah blah blah. And he's just like, and
like I don't remember you.
Yeah. And I really don't fucking care.
Like, I'm the Dark Lord of the Sith now, and I don't even know you.
Yeah.
Like what?
Now, he wasn't about to kill her, but I think he was just about to like turn around and just be like, fucking go away. I don't need you.
Yeah, because he had to, like, when he heard the name, he had like that quick flashback, and then he just basically built up full rage. He's like, I don't.
Yeah, it's like he had a brief moment where he like reconnected with his past, but then he's immediately went back to Darth Bane. He's like, no,
fuck off. But lets her live.
Yes, well, for a couple of seconds until he senses, he's like, oh fuck, puts up a force shield as Zana's coming around the corner, fucking boom. And the way they describe, or the way Drew Karpyshyn describes fucking Lucia, like fucking ricocheting off the fucking sides of the cave.
That's right. This lifeless body just fucking.
Yeah, and she's just like, blam, 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 because fucking Zana comes around the corner and force pushes the shit out of her.
Right.
And just fucking wrecks her to where she's just like a fucking, just like a dead heap of meat.
Right.
On the fucking floor, just all contorted and just fucking just destroyed.
You know what it reminds me of? This is going to be really bad. Like, I probably shouldn't even say this, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Fucking do it.
So you know when we're fucking watching gun camera footage?
Oh, yeah.
And you get the AC-130, the really good AC-130 fucking shots where you like a boom, boom, boom. And the 105's fucking hitting the ground. All of a sudden you just see the little IR body flying through the air. That's what it fucking reminded me of.
Right.
Like, you just know that's just this lifeless body tossing through the air.
Yeah. And so yeah, fucking Zana like kills fucking Lucia. Like, the way he described it is fucking just like,
yeah. Obviously, that wasn't the
brutal.
intent of the fucking force attack. It was for Bane. Right. However, she was collateral damage.
Yeah, he shielded himself.
Spectacular.
And she was
like, and Zana's like, hey, You should have fucking. This is how weak you are, fucking old man. You should have killed that bitch. But
Yep.
instead, you were like, oh, you know what? I'm a big softy, and I'm gonna go ahead and let you live. So all the more reason that you shouldn't be the person.
Yep. So and then they start their fight.
Yep.
Like boom, it's Bane and Zana fucking fighting with Bane having no lightsaber at this point.
So but Bane makes a feint for his lightsaber, which causes like it was really really cool how Drew Carpenter does this. Is he starts describing the fight between the two of them, and you think it's going to be like this is like you can't do this with a Kindle, right? Like this is why I kind of like reading the book. Like if I'm reading in a book, it's kind of like watching how far I am into the movie.
Yeah,
and I guess you can do it on a Kindle, like see the percentage left.
Yeah.
But like I'm looking at the pages, going like, there's no way this is the last fucking fight. There's no way because there was like so many pages left.
Yeah.
But like you get the feeling like this is it. This is the end. And
well, and
so it starts, and Drew Carpenter's like says that Bane like starts to feint for his lightsaber, and it basically puts Zana into this mentality like the entire fight against Bane, even though because she's like playing this back later in her head.
Yeah,
the entire time she was fighting against put into a fighting style that was against somebody who would have had their lightsaber.
Right.
But him not having one changed, like he was able to do traditional tactics against her traditional fighting style, which is the only reason he was able to live.
Exactly, because he went next level fucking mind games on her.
Right.
And he's like, okay, I'm gonna feign having a lightsaber here to make her think that I'm making her think that I have a lightsaber, because like he's going like fucking 10 steps ahead.
That's right.
So he makes her think, okay, well, he really doesn't have a lightsaber, so I'm just gonna cut his ass down.
Right.
Not thinking about her fucking psychic.
Was the plan inside of the plan inside of the plan inside of the plan.
So, and it's like the way it was written, like you said, fucking flawless.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to read through.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
And especially when Zana goes back and she looks back on this fight and she's like, fuck, he took me for a ride. That motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because they're fighting. While they're fighting, fucking Set Hearth goes to this big hangar where there's a few ships left, and fucking Huntress is there. And these two are starting to have a fight because she's like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. He's like, I don't know who the fuck this bitch is.
Right.
And they start fighting to try to like, each get a vessel to get off the fucking planet as it's about to explode.
So basically there's like 2 ships left.
Yeah.
And there's 2 of us. And Set's like, hey, there's 2 ships and 2 of us. We could like he initially, I think he wants to talk his way out of it, but then like attacks her.
Yeah.
Right. Tries to get her guard down, and she's just too quick for him.
Right. But at the same time, she also knew that he could probably beat her in a straight one-on-one fight. So they kind of negotiated. They destroyed all the ships except for hers and fucking his.
Right.
So
like he basically took the lightsaber, and what she doesn't like, he realized that like she has the Force, but doesn't have any idea how to use it.
Right.
So like no lightsaber, nothing like that. I'm gonna start using some other shit. Like, oh, I'm gonna use this lightsaber, start cutting the fuel lines on these fucking starships.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, these things are awesome, right? They cut through everything.
Yeah. So yeah, that fight's going on while fucking Zana and Bane are fighting. Ultimately, Set and Huntress convince each other, like, all right, let's just each take a ship and we'll be good. Set beats feet out of there. Zana and Bane end up getting separated. Yeah, Zana and Bane end up getting separated because he sees like an exposed fucking like pipe or whatever that's got like explosives going through it. Or no, it was like a bomb.
It was a bomb that was
yeah, part of the self-destruct.
No. Oh fuck.
Something like that. Anyway, he fucking sets off the goddamn bomb.
He sets off an explosion because of I forget what it was there for. It was something.
But it brings down a rock wall between the two of them.
Right.
So they're separated at this point. So the fight's over. And
basically it's like on Hoth when the snow falls down, and now 3PO is like, like, oh no, they forgot me.
Yeah, and then Han's like, just head out, I'll take her out on the Falcon. That the exact same scenario.
Well, no, Han opened the door. He's like, come on, Goldenrod. Grabs him. Isn't that what happens?
No, he was trying to take Leia to her transport.
Oh, I'm thinking of it
the
different.
fucking thing caves in, and he's like, you better take off. I'll get her out on the Falcon.
Yeah. I made up a scene in my head that was much better than the one you described.
But the one I described actually happened. So anyway.
So
Zana heads back to her ship that she took in. Bane heads back to the fucking hangar where Huntress is still there.
Chilling.
She didn't leave when Set left.
We all chilling and shit.
Yeah. They is treating us good.
Gotta give a shout out to Ray and Big Steve.
Send some Newports. Oh god, Chappelle's the best. I was just watching one of his new Netflix shows last night.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was in here watching it. Anyway, while all this was going on, Bill Cosby raped 54 women.
I didn't see his new special yet.
You haven't seen? Well, he's got 4 on Netflix now. 4 full stand-up.
Is there really
specials on Netflix?
Fuck, I'm behind.
You haven't seen any of them?
I've seen one of them.
They're all fucking great. Anyway, we digress.
Chappelle's a shit.
Yeah. Huntress comes up to Bane. She's like, let me be your apprentice. You know, here's your lightsaber. I like you.
Yeah, he just kind of turns it over to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, fucks up.
Yeah.
You know, why being weird?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, this is where I see our paths divulge.
Yep.
You know, and so I'm gonna follow you.
Yeah, and he's like, all right. Yeah, let's roll.
Thanks for my lightsaber, but we gotta go.
Yeah, and they get out of there. Fucking Zana makes it to her ship. She looks around. She's like, that motherfucker. Because Set took off. She's like, all right, I'll get his ass. And she beats me out of there.
So, and at one point while I'm reading it, I lost track of ships because I thought like basically that in the fight between the Huntress, what was the Huntress's name?
Huntress. That was what they called her.
There was something else.
She didn't have a name.
I thought it came up. But anyway,
well, Huntress, she came up had a name later.
Well, I know that.
We'll get into that.
Anyway, I don't know where I forgot where I was going with that.
The ships. Well, did you think Zana's ship was like part of the whole?
Yeah, when he was destroying ships, I thought maybe.
Yeah. No, because she parked somewhere else. Like she took a different entrance into the place. So she went back to her ship. They all leave. They all escape the fucking
explosion. She valeted, whereas the other guys self-parked. Gotcha.
And even Sarah made it out in like an escape pod after she found fucking Lucia's like crumpled fucking body, which again, the way they describe it, like she's dragging the fucking body out, like all her limbs are just fucking limp, and like even her neck, it's like
a heavy ass body.
Yeah.
Like, so, well, see, and again, this is where I think the scissoring comes into play because it was talking about her muscly arms. Like,
wait, did she?
Those rebels took Zeus.
Did she take advantage of her when she was dead?
Well, it's talking about the muscles on her, like whatever her muscular body, and it was just like it just seemed out of place.
Wow,
this description.
This went to a very dark place.
Well, dark. So when is scissoring dark?
Yeah. So Sarah goes back to her home planet.
I'm trying to figure out this broad's
of Ambria Huntress. So Sarah goes back to Ambria where it all started. She goes back to her dad's
Ambria,
and she goes back to her dad's tent. Fucking Bane just knows, like between him and
amazing
Huntress.
Tent, by the way. Just
no.
Bane doesn't just know. He's got the Huntress's. She sees it in the future.
Oh, okay.
One of her parts of her deal, why Bane does this fucking eliminate her, is that like, hey, not only do I want to become your apprentice, however, I also know how to get to old girl.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's like the kind of the deal breaker. He's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
And then she gets in the ship. She fucking starts flying away. And it's like, oh, by the way, she's going to be here.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, do you see that in the future? She's like, no, but I know this, and this, which this makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they go to Ambria. Sarah knows she has a feeling he's coming. Bane shows up and she's like, all right, you got me. Let's end this. And she just basically gives herself up, and Bane just fucking cuts her ass down. Like, without question, he just fucking kills her right then and there.
Very anticlimactic, Sarah's death.
Yeah.
Like, after she's all like, do you see I buried Lucia's body over there? And he's like, I don't give a fuck, honestly. Like, just
and that's him fully letting go of his past. He's like, so what? I don't give a shit. And fucking cuts her down. And then he realizes, like, okay, fucking Zana's going to be chasing me around the fucking galaxy for the next 10 years if we don't finish this now.
Be a good 4th book.
Yeah, it would be. But
be the over 40 Bane going after fucking old girl.
So he sends out this message to Zana. He calls her ship. He's like, hey, I'm on Ambria. Let's finish this.
Yeah, sends out his coded distress signal.
Yep. And Zana's like, all right. She goes to the fucking thing. They meet at the fucking hut. She looks over at Huntress. She's like, who's that? And Bane's essentially like, well, whichever one of us wins, that's going to be our apprentice. And Zana's like, all right, let's fucking do this.
Like, she's not going to get involved. All right.
Yeah, and then we get into this fucking chapter-long battle between Zana and Bane. And again, the way it's fucking described is just epic. Could you just imagine like two of the most powerful Sith lords?
The tentacles kind of threw me off, though. So there's a part where like there's the back and forth, right? And you're right. It's like it's just a great description of like just the lightsaber fight. And like she knows that she's not gonna have a like she's basically feigning him into like then she gets to a point where like, okay, now I'm going to use the sorcery that Bane doesn't really have a good understanding of. Like, hey, there's one thing I'm good at that you're not. It's this fucking sorcery piece. And guess what? I'm going to head throw it at you right about now. Yep. And then the fucking tentacles come out of the ground. And they kind of he alludes to it early in the book where it talks about, or early in the series where it talks about the force sensitivity in the planet itself.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she takes advantage of that and fucking has these like tentacles that come up and like fucking they like take off his fucking arm. Yeah, right? There was like it's like chewing through his flesh, and as so at one point I'm like, okay, he's fighting. This thing is like tearing at his flesh. He's still fighting old girl while the tentacles are like gnawing at him, and then finally one of them chews its way through his fucking arm. Yeah, with the fucking lightsaber in it, and he's still fucking fighting. He's like, ah. I just and it just goes to show such a good fucking movie.
Oh yeah,
it's such a good movie,
and it shows how powerful he is.
Oh, and just a brute fucking strength.
Ultimately, you know, she uses her sorcery to get into his fucking mind. He realizes it, tries to fight back, and we get to a point where he's like, "Okay, this bitch is gonna kill me. Time to start my fucking body transfer ritual." So he's like, "Okay." You know, I'm Due Bendela. Give me the power, I beg of you. And you know, he starts doing that whole fucking ritual
to Blave.
And we then switch to a view from the Huntress, where she sees the two of them kind of combining. Big explosion, dust cloud. Out from the fucking dust cloud comes Zana.
Right.
So she's like, "Oh. So what's up? Did the transfer work or did you beat him?" And she's like, "I'm Darth Zana. You're now my apprentice. Let's fucking roll."
Yeah. What was your name? You had this like this. It was totally anticlimactic. Like what Huntress changed her name to.
Oh yeah. Well, and this happened actually before this final battle,
right?
Where she when she gave herself to Bane, and she came up with the name Darth Cognus, which
Bane said, "Oh, that's appropriate." I'm like, why? Why is that appropriate?
Well, because of her mental cognitive ability, Darth Cognus.
Oh.
Seeing the future and whatnot.
Oh.
There's lines there.
Sure. That makes more sense now.
Yeah.
I wasn't drawing a parallel there, but now I got it.
Right. That's what you got me for. So it was a matter of, did the fucking mind transfer thing work before Zana broke the ritual? She comes out, she says, "I'm Darth Zana. I fucking killed Bane. Blah, blah, blah. I'm your new master now. Let's fucking roll." And as they're walking away, looping back to the very beginning, Huntress sees the fucking twitch in her left hand. So
in Zana's left hand.
Yes. So that's when it's like, holy shit, did fucking Zana or did Bane make it into Zana's body? And that's why we're seeing the twitch that Bane had at the beginning of the book.
Well, yeah, who's actually like in charge, because that's the whole thing about the battle carried over into the mind, where Bane was trying to basically overtake Zana's consciousness.
Yes.
So at the end, you're led to believe that Zana is fully in control. However, now you got the hand twitch.
And then we get an epilogue with Set Hearth.
Right.
Because he's got fucking Darth Amadeus's holocron.
Right.
And he opens it and he starts learning the same ritual. Well,
he starts struggling with the fucking the gatekeeper.
Right.
In the beginning, like, "Yes, master, for fuck's sake."
Yeah. But he's like, "I'm a patient man. I can figure this out."
Right.
So, and that's where the book ends. So we've got two burning questions here at the end. It's like, first, what really happened with Bane and Zana? Did Bane actually take over her body? And like, what happened with Set Hearth?
Right.
Like, did he figure it out? Is he still fucking around in today's, Star Wars canon?
Is he Snoke?
Hey, you never know, right? Obviously this is Legends material, so this is kind of out the window, but before Legends became Legends, it's like, well, what really happened? Could Bane be the same fucking essence all the way up to and including Palpatine? Could Set be some presence up to and including something in the current fucking Star Wars canon? It's because they both learned the ritual at that point. Did they take full advantage of it? And did they make it up to, the point where the Empire rose and all of that?
So Bane occurs. Let me look at the timeline. Before I say this out loud, I don't want to sound like a complete idiot.
Yeah.
At least not on purpose, like I usually do.
Right. Lando is Snoke. That's
it's a dynamite Snoke.
Actually, while you're looking that up, I'm just gonna really quick, just please. I gotta do this. 1931. It's time.
Is it? Is it, Jason?
Yes. Oh, it's still light out.
Colt 45 malt liquor. All right, so it's 1,000 years before New Hope. Okay, so basically ABY. Can you guys hear that? Can you hear that? The fan going in the background. 1,000 years. Yep. It's a dynamite taste. Sorry, I'm trying to read. Can you hear the fan or not? Somebody. My Mothma Snoke. You know if Snoke had boobs. No fan. You don't hear it. All right. Well, that's good. We have Darth Plagueis on the fucking shelf here because that's what's coming up next. Coming up next on the All Things Star Wars podcast, Dave fumbles and looks for a book, but inexplicably waits for Jason to come back.
Okay, that's fucking weird.
What?
The fact that it's still light outside? Like, you think about it.
It's 7:30.
Well, but it's still light outside. Remember, we're just now getting into the springtime where the fucking sun is staying up later. This is probably the first time in almost 2 years where I've pissed outside and it's been light out doing the show because all of last year.
That explains why it's like a thing to you and not to me.
Right. Well, because all of last year during the summer and springtime, I was in a different fucking part of the country.
That's right. You talk to them about it. I'll take this time to.
Yeah.
To your name.
But yeah, it was fucking weird. I went to go piss and I went outside and like I opened the door and it's light out. I'm like, wait, this isn't right because normally when I do this, when I take my piss breaks, I go outside, I open the door and it's dark out so I can just sneak around the corner, piss. Nobody will know the difference. But yeah, not so much. All right, so far of all of these beers, and I'm not even a porter fan, but this fucking dark, rich, and sexy porter is my favorite of the 3 beers. It's just they all tasted weak, and the porter is probably the strongest of all of these. So
I prefer it to be dark. That way I don't have to think about how many spiders are crawling on me when I'm standing there in between the houses.
Right. So,
all right, we coming? Are we back?
All right, give me 15 seconds. And we're back. So what's going on here?
Well, no. So I said, as I said during the break, I inexplicably I looked for the book as Jason was offline,
Right.
which I ended up
The
finding
Darth
the book.
Plagueis book?
Right. So it makes me think. So finishing the Bane trilogy, it's about 1,000 years ABY, right?
Yes.
Plagueis
Before...
is 67 years ABY.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, over the course of 1,000 years, how many generations that is until we get to a point where Plagueis, as the person who could allegedly keep people from dying, right?
Right.
How far does that, like, is the idea that Plagueis, if using your logic, which I like that idea, like, let's just say that the Bane Zana combo, right, takes all of Zana's sorcery or whatever, like all the shit, the abilities that she has, right, and then Bane's strength works with the Ictorian, works with Cognis, right? So her and Cognis, eventually Cognis is going to take over,
right?
And she has the ability to see into the future, to start setting all these things in motion, right?
Sure.
That ultimately could lead to Palpatine,
right?
So she starts putting things in motion, knowing that, okay, this stuff is going to happen, and she gets an apprentice, and then as it goes on, you have this Sith who is the sum of all its parts,
right?
So if we get all the way up to that point, like, it actually, if leaving Set Hearth completely out of it, right, leaving him completely out of it, like Set Hearth is whatever, like,
he's a side story,
right? It's a side story that, potentially that's like, okay, I know there's this other fucking entity out there that tried to figure out to get into the fucking thing,
right?
Which, me personally, I don't believe this set gets into the fucking holocron. But that doesn't mean that holocron doesn't exist somewhere.
Sure.
Like, Set spends his entire life trying to get into that fucking holocron, goes fucking nuts, and ends up dying without ever getting that ability.
Right, but that holocron's still there for somebody else to discover.
Assuming that the holocron is not destroyed, that means Darth Amadeus is still out. His holocron's still out there.
Right, right.
And you have potentially this Sith aggregation that gets up to Palpatine.
Yeah.
And if that particular Sith was this, like I said, the sum of all its parts, then Palpatine having everything from Bane, think about it, everything, all the abilities, just what we can see in the Bane trilogy, all the way up to Plagueis, to Palpatine.
Yeah, you're talking like, probably 20 generations of Sith.
Easily. Or 1,000 years, right? So however,
so like 50 per generation, 50 years per generation, I'd say. So
okay,
like each one would be like 50 when the transition happened.
Yeah, so when one knocks over the other, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
So okay, so yeah, like 20. So that it makes for an interesting plot line,
right?
To understand how Palpatine became so fucking powerful, and be able to manipulate the Force so well,
right? I mean, that would make a lot of sense, and maybe that's what they were alluding to. Oh, so to go back to the Old Republic. So the thing that happened with this exact same plot line in the Old Republic was one person was trying to do a Force transfer on somebody else.
Right.
Another character came in, interrupted it, and the Force transfer went to that character instead, but it didn't complete. So instead of like that Sith taking over the full body of that person, it's now like dual owned. Like half the time the original host is still in control, and half the time the Sith is in control of the body. So that could be something else that could happen with Bane and Zana.
That's interesting.
Yeah, where it's like there's, if nothing else, there's aspects of Bane in that same body with Zana. So,
or they go to call pod races, and then they could be like almost like be two-headed to call pod races.
Right. But either way,
interesting, because Sebulba apparently is Snoke, according to Isaac Seid.
Oh, I could see that. But either way,
that's me bringing the chat into the podcast.
It's good. I like it. Yeah. Great book overall. It was
the series. Like the series is excellent.
Yeah, all 3 books. Even though, like we said, the second book did feel like kind of filler, it still served a purpose. still phenomenally written. It was he drank the last of his soda.
Fuck.
I mean, honestly, Drew Karpyshyn, great writer. We already mentioned before he used to work for BioWare, and he was the lead writer on Knights of the Old Republic, on sections of the Old Republic. He was the lead writer on the Mass Effect game. If anybody's familiar with Mass Effect, he was the lead writer of that. So, you know, he's got some chops. He's written shit after the fact. He's written the Revan book. He's written the Old Republic book. So I want to read those at some point soon.
Man, can we read Revan before we read Republic Commando? Have you already started Republic Commando?
Nope.
It's one book.
Yeah.
Right?
We could.
Before we start a whole nother series, because I'd
sure.
really like to read the Revan book.
Okay, we can do that.
While we're in this Drew Karpyshyn, it's not to fucking push it off on Bronco Fett, because it would be yet another thing.
Yeah.
Fucking, granted, everybody that basically follows this podcast has been telling us to fucking watch the Clone Wars.
True, yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
However, I would love to, because I haven't read, I'd love to read something I haven't read.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
By a guy that we know is a good writer.
Yeah, who is a good writer, and it's a storyline that, as part of the Old Republic and like these other things that kind of tie into it, that we've touched on, and I don't really know anything about the character.
Yeah.
So I would love to. Didn't you get a Revan Black Series?
No, I know one exists, but I haven't gotten it yet.
Fuck, I saw it. I saw it at a fucking store down the shore. Well, I think we talked about it at the time.
Yeah.
But there was like a choice. I can make a choice to buy one thing or the other. And I ended up not buying. I don't think I bought anything out of the place.
Yeah.
Like Kathy was like, well, you can buy this thing or this thing. And I bought one thing instead. I bought the TIE Pilot instead.
Which is more along your lines.
Because TIE Pilot.
Yeah, I need to buy the Revan figure at some point. Because
I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy that character.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck. We didn't even, my week in fucking Star Wars. We didn't even talk about the fucking Archive Black Series shit.
Save it for next week.
No. Because I've already said it.
Okay.
It's already been out on Instagram. Are we done with the book?
Yeah, good book. Drew Karpyshyn. I'd suck his dick right now if he was here.
I would not, and I wouldn't even watch. I just let Jason do his thing, and then I'd come in awkwardly after the fact. Like, are we all good? Like, can we go ahead and like? I'm not even going to shake your hand anymore.
Yeah.
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 Ugh.
So yes, we're done. I've made Dave feel as uncomfortable as possible.
That was just, it's a mental image. Just, oh God. No. So we're going back Quentin Tarantino style to our week in Star Wars. So Big Lovin' posted in the Cantina about the Black Series archive, right?
Right.
So, and the Boba Fett archive figure, and he posted a picture of it, like, got this guy in. I'm like, oh fuck.
Mm-hmm.
How do it? And so I'm standing there with Big Squeed, right? Well, I'm surprised has he like chatted in? He probably doesn't know we're recording today, because he's not like, he follows, but he's not, he's getting into the regularity of the podcast, right? And plus, because I wasn't in the office today, he wouldn't know that we're taping.
Right.
So I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm like, holy fuck, dude, look at this thing. And we're just looking at the picture of it going like, oh, dude.
Yeah, so it's like a full Black Series figure, right?
It's a Black Series figure.
But it's in a carded packaging.
Instead of the box that all the other Black Series came in. Because apparently it was released in like 2000. It says it on there.
The original Boba Fett was.
Yeah, the original Black Series one. I want to say it was 2013.
Okay, so this is a reissue of that in a carded packaging.
Right. So, and it's one of those things where had it, we don't even, there's carded, like,
like something like this.
Yeah, so, Jason knocking over all the
something
bottles.
like that, but it's bigger.
Right. So a 6-inch figure comes in card like this. It says Black Series Archive. It says like archive across the side. Yeah. Packaging is actually pretty cool for a carded one, right? It's just bigger.
Yeah.
So we saw Big Lovin' had it, and I'm like, I'm not a huge fucking Boba Fett guy. I don't fucking, cream myself every time. I'm not. I like them. I like the idea of the Mandalorians. I like the Legends Mandalorians way more than I like the Boba Fett character. Like, but that's a whole other conversation.
Sure.
But I saw this and I'm like, dude, the fucking detail on it looks amazing.
Well, it's a Black Series figure.
I have to have it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Amazon, for and me not having to deal with human beings.
Right.
I go in there and I get it.
Nice.
And then as I'm standing there, fucking Big Swede's like, well, fuckers, now I have to get it also. So and then that son of a bitch, he gets his before I get mine. But I got mine, and the fucking edge, the edge of the packaging was just crushed, just enough to be like, I gotta open it.
Right.
The package is damaged. I have to fucking open it. It's not gonna be worth shit. So I fucking open it. Dude, it's amazeballs.
Now here's my question.
It's fucking amazeballs.
Is it cheaper than a standard Black Series figure? Because Black Series figures run anywhere from $20 to $30.
It was $20.
Okay,
$19.99 on Amazon.
Okay, so it's kind of like a PlayStation Greatest Hits kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for the level of fucking the detail, so this is how good the detail work. And look, we've been espousing the virtues, obviously, of the Black Series ever since Jason started to fucking collect them, and then I vicariously have been collecting the ones that I really like.
Yeah.
This between the Stormtrooper and the TIE Pilot, very detailed, very cool. The detail work in this Boba Fett is just, it's the tits.
Yeah.
You'll see stuff on Boba Fett that you didn't see in the fucking movie.
Wow.
So it's like just some of the detail work, or like you really have to like pause the movie to look and see like, yeah, that's right off the fucking screen.
Nice.
Like, the detail around the dent in the fucking helmet and that shit. But what was really like, so the blaster rifle that he has, so he's got the traditional Naboo style fucking like pistol, and then he's got this blaster rifle.
Well, it's one of the guns in Battlefront,
right?
It's the E something.
It's not the E11.
No,
I'm thinking of something else.
No,
but it's basically like, so if when you're looking at the making of Star Wars, how they take like some gun, like Han Solo's gun is modeled off of like a Luger,
right.
So, and it's a real firing gun and fired blanks, right? So the Boba Fett's gun was basically of a 6-shooter. They basically put a fucking stock and a fucking sight and a barrel off of a 6-shooter.
Nice.
Because when you look at the detail of the fucking gun itself, you can see it. It's a fucking rifle built around a 6-shooter.
No shit.
It's so fucking funny. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you tonight.
That's great.
But I was like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, God damn it, look at that. And I could see it inside the package too. I was supposed to be doing homework today, and I fucking was like, fuck this. I'm busting this open. But yeah, I highly recommend that you procure yourself one so that you can ogle over it and we can have it. I was going to bring it in, put it in the studio for the archives, and I was like, I had to open it.
Yeah.
Because now I have my own collection of Infinity's characters going now, right?
Oh yeah.
Because I just really like them. So I might have taken a picture of it, which I can post on Instagram later. I haven't eaten. Kathy, if you're listening, I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Kristen hasn't been feeding us lately before the show, so
mainly because Jason won't take her to fucking see
Harry Potter. This is our punishment for.
I don't know why I should be punished. Why should I get punished for your fucking your things that you are?
Why are you the way that you are?
Oh, I didn't take a picture of it. I meant to take a picture of it. I will when I get. Oh, yes, I did. I lied. This is not the picture I was referring to. But yeah, look at the fucking rifle. Look at the rifle.
Oh shit!
It's right there.
Is. I don't know why I never noticed that before.
Never. I mean, but that's
crazy.
That's the detail you get out of the fucking Black Series. I mean, just look. I know it's so good, right?
Yeah, feels great.
He's fondling the fucking Black Saber, by the way. The episode 100 Black Series lightsaber.
Yeah,
courtesy of.
Oh, it's got the big fucking
right
there,
big loving, and you can't even see it's actually looks like it's flaked metal. Like when you look at it for reals, it looks like there's the helmet is metal and the paint is flaked around it.
That's great.
That's crazy. So, yeah, not disappointed in the least that this is what I post on Instagram, the crushed box. Yeah. I'm so happy to fucking I had a chance to open it. and I'll take a picture and post on Instagram. It's right now. I have the Infinity Series Boba Fett standing next to the Black Series Boba Fett. So, and it's a cool little dichotomy there.
All right. So to close this out, for anybody who's still listening, I'm about to throw a lot of disappointment out there for anybody.
Ouch.
We're getting back to Bane really quick.
Okay.
So this is talking about the final battle. This is straight from Wikipedia.
Okay.
The final battle between Bane and Zana led a number of fans to post theories regarding its outcome, including the theory that Bane not only successfully cast Zana out of her body, but he had done so for each Sith Lord over the 1,000 years before the events of the original trilogy, leading up to and including Darth Sidious. Less than 2 weeks after the books released, Drew Karpyshyn personally clarified the situation with a post on his website saying that Zana had won the battle. Karpyshyn said that he wanted to introduce just a hint of subtlety about how much of Bane survived, and that he left open the possibility of revisiting the situation at some point, saying that what was supposed to be left ambiguous was whether or not Bane was still alive in some way or just a small part of him was imprinted on Zana.
Well, see, and I think that still goes with, all right, it's
kind
not
of more your theory than
yeah, it's not
else.
the 50-50 conversation, but it's the Sith Lord is now the sum of all the Sith Lords that may or may not have taken over at some point or another.
Yep. So, yeah, that kind of goes along with that.
Again.
What are you, Canadian?
Well, you were the one saying A earlier. I think it has something to do with that Michigan beer. It's that Michigan proximity.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's why it snuck in there.
Holy shit.
I knew there was a reason.
That's fucking weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
It's got something Detroit water, maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
What's going on? What's happening?
So, all right, let's close the book on this whole episode because we've got Celebration coming up this next week.
It's a celebration, bitches.
I could only imagine all the shit that's going to get announced. There's talk of a fucking Old Republic expansion, new video games being announced, previews of The Mandalorian, obviously episode 9, Clone Wars season 7. There's going to be a lot to digest from Celebration. So our next episode is 99.95% sure to be a Celebration centric episode.
I can't imagine that we'd be talking about anything else,
right,
to be honest.
And also keep an eye out this Friday or whenever you're listening to this. Yeah, it may have already happened.
Yeah, it probably already happened.
On YouTube go
on YouTube, like our reaction video to the trailer that's probably not going to come out. We're all going to be disappointed about, which will give us something to talk about.
Don't listen to him. Yeah. But yes, we will react to the trailer because I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to watch it until you tell me for sure 100% whether or not you're going to be here. If you're not going to be able to make it so we can watch the trailer together, I'll just fucking fire up the webcam and record my own reaction to it. But you will see one or both of our first reactions to seeing this trailer. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, our next full episode will be all about the Celebration.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, the amazing friends of the podcast, Don and Big Lovin', will have some footage for us and some insight into what's going on. And you know, just like we did the prequel to episode 100 with episode 99. So here with episode 101, we should have done something. It was so far removed from episode 100 where we kind of like lost some of the emphasis on them. But fucking episode 100, that was we had some really it was a lot of fucking fun.
Well, the whole weekend was great.
The whole weekend was it was so much fun. The episode itself was a lot of fun, and it just again makes me thankful for this group of fans that, you know, these loyal listeners that we have. But saying that, all of you loyal listeners out there, or if you're listening to us for the first time and listening to the incessant rambling of a madman, subscribe on YouTube. I want 1,000 subscribers. Where are we on the 1,000 subscriber?
I think right now we're pushing 200. So we
need to
got
push,
a ways to go.
We need to push harder.
Yeah.
please, 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 if you're listening to this on iTunes, we love you. This is for you. This is a podcast.
Yeah.
But we'd also like, hey, if we get to a point where our YouTube subscriber numbers are up there, then we can do the podcast like we're doing now, and then we'd make it a point to have some additional YouTube content.
Yeah, exclusive
Yeah.
YouTube content.
Yeah, because right now it's just the YouTube audience and the chat is just bearing the benefit of us taping
Right.
and having the ability to do it at the same time.
Mhm.
Which reminds me, I was supposed to bring my fucking camera over. I forgot my fucking
Oh, the webcam.
the webcam.
Yeah.
Well,
You brought the mic, so it's.
I did, and that was completely. But regardless, fucking social media, all things Star Wars, or all things Star Wars pod, or all things SW pod, or however, throw all things Star Wars into your fucking Googles, not the Bings, because Bing can fucking suck a bag of dicks. Bing is the worst thing to come out of Microsoft since fucking Windows 98.
Although,
don't even espouse the virtues of Bing. I will fucking open hand slap you right on this fucking podcast.
I am told through outside sources that Bing is the best search engine for pornography. This is just what I'm told.
Interesting.
Yes. So
we'll save that conversation for another time.
Yes. If anybody else out there knows, though, let us know
what the best source is for pornography.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So,
See,
the only place I even think about Bing is at work.
Right.
So I would never
it's
even
forced on you.
Yeah, because fucking Bing pops up. It's like, hey, here I am. Here's Bing.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, fuck. My home screen is Google. Go away, Bing.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to talk to you, Bing.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's time for that special time, apparently.
Yeah.
But does Bing have the fucking offline?
This is just hearsay that I'm hearing. So
it's just intriguing because I've never heard said things about Bing.
Yeah.
All I know is bad things.
Yeah. But that's, like I said, that's just what I've heard, that's the go-to search engine if you're looking for specific
interesting
adult material. Anyway, that's all for this week.
Stone Bleeds, we appreciate your pushing. Don't get a hernia. They suck.
Yeah. And thanks for everybody for watching on the YouTube. Thanks to all the listeners. Our download numbers are getting up there. Funny thing, our hottest chicks of Star Wars is our most downloaded episode of like the last year. So
that's funny.
Yeah. And again, no negative blowback. So
interesting.
Guess we're good.
Yeah. Jason survives another misogynistic rant.
Yeah, I was hoping
you got to do better next time.
Just
got to do better.
What I said, we got to up the ante.
Yes, you do. Once again, the views of Jason Roscoe, the views of All Things Star Wars Podcast are Dave Martin.
All right. Well, until next episode, until Celebration.
It's a celebration, bitches.
Dave and everybody else, may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Okay, now what do I click?
All right, they better fucking hear this one.